evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcasting for your Wednesday night coverage of the WSSR Cup Series. And it might sound like a little different today, as I, Richard Wolsifer, will be your lead commentator for tonight as we head to Auto Club Speedway. For tonight's race, I'll be joined tonight with Carl Pooler. Carl, how you doing tonight?
Hey, good evening, drivers, ladies and gentlemen, race fans. I'm doing all right, Richard. It is quite an honor to be back up here in the booth for Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's good to be back up here. And Richard, you and I always said it. We'd eventually find a way into the booth together, and we have done it tonight. I'm excited, I'm pumped, and I am ready for tonight here at Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah, it's good to be in the booth with you, Carl. Finally happening, and it's sad, Sam's recovering from some hoarse voice from what we hear, so hope he feels better tonight. So different voices tonight, still going to have the same excitement, same fun. These drivers put on a great show at one of probably drivers' beloved tracks, Auto Club, which we no longer will be seeing anymore in the real life. So it's good to be able to have this track here in the service that drivers can go and run at any time they want. Looks like a lot of the cars, looks like you're going to be able to drive a lot of different lanes tonight. That is one great thing about Auto Club, especially in these next-gen cars. There's a lot of lanes these drivers can take to make passes or wherever they need to go. So it's going to be a really exciting race, another long 2-mile track as well.
Oh, definitely, Richard. This track definitely owes and opens itself up. It's kind of labeled as a driver's track. The track really changes with the weather, the tires wear, it's fast. You can go 3, 4, 5 wide. Many strategies can come into play. Tires, fuel. It's one of those tracks that everyone kind of cried and gasped in kind of shock when it was announced that it was closing and getting torn down. So, like you said, great to have you here on the service. But here we are on a Wednesday night, ready to see this World Series of sim racing drivers take on tonight's track.
Yeah, World Series, WSSR drivers are some phenomenal drivers to watch. Put on a great show every Wednesday night. And, we're coming from Pocono, actually, the last 2-mile track that we just got off of last week, where I believe it was Drew Jua that took home the win, fighting back from the very back of the field at that. So a fantastic show that he put on last week. Let's see, if he can repeat that on another long track as well. But we got a lot of really good drivers here. Carl, who are you looking forward to tonight?
Oh man, Drew is a fantastic racer driver. Let's not forget though, it was a kind of a dramatic finish last week at Pocono. A last-minute caution brings out the yellow, and they actually had to stack up and get ready for a natural green-white checkered, if I remember correctly. And so it was very dramatic. Zachary Hall finishing second, Gavin Rogers third. Man, there's just so many fast names out here. I will say I like Brian Johnson. I'm going to put him out there and say he's definitely got the speed to run at a track like Auto Club. He's really good at adjusting his line, and he does seem to be able to excel on the long run, which this track is really famous for. So I'm going to put my money there on Brian Johnson.
Yeah, Brian Johnson's a fantastic pick here. I'm going to have to go with Zach Hall. He has been on a tear all season so far, doing really good, running up front, coming off the season championship also last season. It's why he's able to don the number 1 on his car. New rule that they added here in WSSR, where the season champion, the number 1 is reserved for the prior season's champion. So really awesome to see him in the number 1 trophy smack car as well, looking great out on track. So gonna be great to see how he can do tonight. Hopefully he has a fantastic run and repeats what he did last week as well.
Oh, Zach Hall is, you said, on a tear and started during the playoffs in season 9. Like you said, he won the championship, and Richard, that can do nothing but give you confidence. You come in here, season champ, race 3 of season 10, really looking forward to keep dominating and be fast. And he's come out of the gate strong, and he looks to continue that. Let's not forget WSSR rookie phenom from last year, Gavin Rogers, in the running for that championship last season and missed it just by a couple of points. Absolute heartbreak for Gavin. He is definitely loving this track too. I think this also kind of caters to his his skill set. Gavin loves a loose track, and this track can definitely get loose, especially as the run goes on, as you drive off that right rear tire. So I think either way, we're going to see a ton of action from all these drivers tonight, and I am ready for it.
Yeah, it looks like we are done with practice. We're going to go jump straight into qualifying. Qualifying here is going to be 5 minutes or 2 laps for each of the drivers for them to put down their fastest lap possible. This is where it's determined where you're going to start the race. You know, some people are going to use the strategy of starting up front, stay there, or start in the back and kind of dodge a lot of the mistakes that might be happening from drivers in the middle of the field or up front. You know, could dodge the wrecks. So we'll see where they pan out for these 2 laps of qualifying.
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22. Yeah, maybe you do want to sit in the back, ride, learn the track, but the problem is this is a full field tonight. Looks like 43 drivers have signed in and run a lap, so we have a full field. And the further back you go, the more risk there is getting caught up in an incident. It could not even have to be your fault, but if you're just in the wrong spot at the wrong time, it could end your race early. So I think track position is always king here. Yeah. There's definitely opportunities to make passes, a lot of opportunities for strategy, but of course, the further up you are, the less cars you have to pass, the easier it is to win this race. And I think it's going to depend on how this race turns out. It looks very hot and bright out here in California, so I have a feeling these cars are going to be slick and slick early.
And with the mention of how many cars we have logged into the service right now, we have 46 cars logged in tonight to be able to qualify. The downside, 3 drivers will be going home. So, with that said, there are 26 drivers that are currently locked into this race. No matter where they qualify, they will be locked in. They finished top 30 in the points during Season 9. The other drivers have to qualify. They have to finish higher than the lowest 3 of the non-locked in drivers. So, this is the first time this season we've had an issue where we're going to have drivers go home. So this is where you have to put laps down, where you have to be fast, because nobody wants to go home. They all want to race this as we ride along right now with Leroy Koblenz, my bad.
And being fast here is so difficult. As you see Leroy get really loose there out of 2, this track is very big, very wide. But you have to drive it with precision. You have to find the line that your car really uses to not only turn the car on corner entry, but launch on the corner exit. And managing these tires is going to be a whole other, pattern for these drivers as the race goes on, depending on where they are, depending on how hard they want to push it. And remember, the stage is at lap 25. Those 10 valuable stage points could mean make or break a driver's championship. So let's not forget, on top of everything else that we got going on, we have stage racing here as well. So we have a little bit of everything for you here tonight.
And we do is ride around with Tyler Dingler right now, a driver who's not really made a much appearance this year or this season so far, but definitely a staple name here in WSSR. Good to see him out on track, as Chad Wilkes currently at the top of the board with a 40.509. It's a really fast lap. Closest next is Ryan Kelly with a 40.566. Some phenomenal laps coming in for these drivers. Let's see what Tyler Dingler can do as he gets ready to cross the start-finish line here. Looks like he's going to run about a 41.134. Not enough to get the pole. It's going to be kind of low in the field as well. So still got quite a few drivers on track and still others to start.
Well, I mean, let's look at these top 5 drivers so far in qualifying, as we have still about a minute and a half left. We have Brian McCann up there in 4th in that 8 car. That is a great showing from him. Connor Berry there in 5th with the 46.20. Very fast as well. Nick Crawford there in 3rd. These guys came to play. Ali Fonseca really showing up tonight. So all these drivers, some you don't typically see. And there it is, the 75 Gavin Rogers looking there to slot his way into 2nd place with a minute left in qualifying.
Yeah, a minute left in qualifying. And right now we have Trevor Earhart on screen right now as we ride around with him around Auto Club, which is kind of an interesting situation right now because Carl, he was, not mistaken, was he not calling our races last season of you and me on track?
You know what? It's exactly right there, Richard. And it's really funny. I was actually thinking to myself when we kind of got together and kind of arranged us to sub in there for Sam. Is it's funny how this community works. Is Trevor Earhart looks to race this season more than broadcast, and that's kind of how you and I met, Richard, in a sense. In another league that we're in, it's crazy how the community comes together and spreads out. So yeah, definitely another staple name, Trevor Earhart. But it looks like Timothy Harper doesn't look like he's ready to run his lap yet. But yeah, as the qualifying comes to a close, Richard, it's going to be fun to see, and everyone loves to race each other around here, it seems like. So again, the community really close.
Yeah, qualifying is done if they did not get the laps in. We will have 3 drivers leaving that will not be starting this race for a total of 43 cars on the track. We will get those names shortly to you, but now we're going to have some warm-up time for these drivers to get out there as we get things settled and get ready for the start of this race. But Dylan Drelling didn't look like he put down a qualifying lap, so that's one name that's probably not going to be starting tonight. But I'm ready to get these racing started. But that was some really good qualifying, some great names up top. Like you said, Gavin Rogers qualifying second. Kind of expected from Gavin. He was one of the most pulls, set the most pulls last season. As we take a look at the standings right now, Gavin Rogers also on top of the leaderboard for the points for this season, which is impressive because I do believe he's finished third both first and second races this season so far, Carl.
You know what? I'm gonna have to look that up, but don't look too far. Larry Yingling, only 3 points, only 3 points behind Gavin, and he is looking to strike here in race 3 of the season. And then Shane Therrien, 78. Now he's of course about 12 points back, with Douglas Newbegin there even more, about another 5 points back. So it is still anyone's guess here in the championship race. And again, stage points are going to become a factor. You're going to see a lot of these cars making their way up into the top 10 trying to get those points.
Yeah, Douglas Newbegin down there in fourth as well. A name that was really up there really fast last year. Definitely had a lot of self-sabotage moments, but looking to make a redemption run this season, doing phenomenal up there in the fourth in standings. You got James Scioli also right behind him by only 2 points as well. The points are very, very close after 2 races. So a lot of these drivers that are close in points are kind of running around each other each and every race as well. So those are a lot of drivers to look out for with great battles on the track that we'll be definitely paying attention to as well.
And with this warm-up, Richard, again, you mentioned we've run this league before last season with the warm-up. How do you approach these warm-up laps and everything? But here, as we're talking about that, we see the schedule. Of course, Zach Hall won the pole last week at Pocono. But didn't quite win the race. Juju took that responsibility. Auto Club this week. And then next week, Atlanta 08, Richard. A super bumpy track. Definitely wears the tires. Probably even worse than this. And then National Super Speedway. We have a week in between Auto Club and Atlanta for Thanksgiving. So everyone is going to have that holiday out. But coming back with Atlanta, that's going to be a little bit of a wild race.
Yeah, next week, again, WSSR will be off for the Thanksgiving break. So it will be a 2-week break after tonight's race at Auto Club, but we will be going back to Atlanta, not the super speedway that we did for the opener, but the 2008 layout, like Carl was saying. It's a lot older surface. It kind of eats the tires a lot more, gets a little bit warmer as well. And it runs more like your typical intermediate speedway, so that's going to be some great racing to watch as well. And then we head to Nashville Super Speedway, a decently long concrete flatter track, so that's going to be another track where they're going to have to watch out for some tire wear as well.
So with this warm-up, Richard, we have a couple of sponsors we definitely want to shout out here. We also have GTR Simulator. If you haven't known, they had partnered up with Stake F1 Team Kick Sauber. They're featuring a special GTA compact race simulator. This simulator brings F1-inspired engineering to your home. It even folds, so it actually works great for open wheel and closed wheel racing. Head over to gtrsimulator.com and use WSSR for 10% off. That is gtrsimulator.com. Experience pro-level racing from home with the GTA.
We also would like to give a shout out to Trophy Smack. You're ready to take your victories and losses to the next level. Look no further than Trophy Smack, the ultimate destination for all your celebratory needs. As seen on Shark Tank, Trophy Smack offers an unrivaled selection of custom trophies belts, rings, and other bling that will make you celebrate in style. Trophy Smack, where champions shine in style. And you can head over to Trophy Smack and get yourself a wall smack to celebrate any of your victories if you'd like. It's a little metal plate that you can put a picture on, and I've got one actually sitting right next to me, believe it or not, and it is great quality. You can head over to trophysmack.com and use WSSR Smack for the code to get 10% off. So Trophy Smack also provides a trophy to the champion of WSSR. It used to be rings. Last year they did, or last couple seasons, they've done trophies. So Zach Hall was able to get his trophy from Trophy Smack, and I gotta say, man, they've got some really good products over there. So go check them out and see what you guys can come up with for yourself.
Not gonna lie, I've seen what they come out with. I cannot wait. If I ever get that first win, I'm definitely probably gonna hit up Trophy Smack and get me one of those plaques because they absolutely look amazing. The quality, you really can't beat it. I don't think I've seen it anywhere else, so definitely head on over there. But as qualifying wraps up, warm-up wraps up, Richard, here we are. It's going to be another long race. I think we're going to pull up the qualifying grid here in a little bit. Richard, what is the most important part of starting this race with cold tires?
Oh, these cars are going to be very loose in these turns, Carl. They've got to, being side by side like this, they're going to have to be very careful around each other because they don't want that car to whip around on, especially coming out of turn 2. Turn 2 has always been the problem here, but as we got the Freaky Fast Broadcasting starting grid for tonight's race here at Auto Club, starting on the pole is going to be the number 6 of Chad Wilkes and Gavin Rogers just to the outside of him in the number 75. Ryan Kelly will be starting 3rd place in the number 3, and Nick Crawford in 74 in 4th place. Inside row 3 is going to be Brian McCann in the number 8 with Connor Berry, the rookie, showing a lot of speed so far this season in the O2, starting just outside in 6th position. Ollie Fonseca, also another really fast qualification time from him, the 24, starting inside row 4, and David Medina Sr. in 8th position in the number 20, followed by James Scioli in 9th in the number 77, and Ken Campbell rounding out your top 10, the number 15.
Yeah, and here we are with P11, Zachary Hall, not quite what he wanted here. P12, Douglas Newbegin in the 13th position is Christopher Norris in the 38 machine. P14 is Jared Talmadge, and then inside on this 8th row is GT Irizarry. P16 will be occupied by Vincent Sora, followed by Shane Tyrion, and then Joshua Kanata in P18. P19 will be Levi Cox, followed by, on the outside, Danny Cochran in P20 in the 2.
Patrick Hunter back in the 21st position in the Hello Kitty number 13. A little lower than we normally see him, but we'll see him come through the field we usually do. With Larry Yingling, also a pretty far back qualification in the 67 in 22nd. Cody Reed, the season opener winner, starting back in 23rd position in the 25, and Justin Malarkey back in 24th in the 73. Then we got Jared Hughes and Drew Jua rounding out row 13 in the 68 and the 88. Tom Sinchek starting 27th in the 26th, and Cameron Thompson in the 41 starting 28th. And you got Ross Tatum, the 21, starting 29th, and in 30th, Bill Hull in the number 48.
31 is going to be another rookie, Nicholas Renner in the number 94. Chris Stitz in 32nd in the number 17. Samuel S. Garcia in P33. Brandon Cawley, familiar name here in WSSR, starting way back in the field in P34. P35 is Christopher Wade, and then Tyler Danger, like you mentioned, the number 19 on the outside there, Richard in P36. John Forbes will occupy the 37th position, while Brian Noel will be in P38. Trevor Earhart, the number 4 and 39th, and rounding out the top 40 will be Adam Kraus.
All right, to round out the last bit of the field, we're going to have Leroy Koblenz in the 42 and 41st position, and William McKellar, the 4th in the 42nd. And to round out the field, Timothy Harper, the 18. And the 3 drivers looks like going home will be Ryan Ferrero, Ben Keeney, and Dylan Drilling. Hopefully they can come back in 2 weeks. Hopefully we can see them back in the field. But the 43 car field is set, and the pace car is taking the left-hand turn down pit road. The drivers are coming to the green flag. The green is out. We're underway here at Auto Club.
And already the number 6 going down all the way on the apron comes up to cut off Gavin Rogers heading off that second line. But don't look now, Ryan Kelly in the 3 is looking to the inside, can't quite make it hook up. The 6 is going to occupy that middle lane as he comes out of turn 2.
Down the back stretch for lap 1, Gavin Rogers on the tail of the number 6 Lucky Charms cars. They get ready to dive into turn 3. A lot of draft, a lot of big runs can happen down that back stretch. Gavin Rogers straight to the bottom of the track, trying to look to take the lead. But it looks like the number 6 pole sitter, Chad Wilkes, will lead lap 1 here at Auto Club as they're all fanning out behind them. Coming out of turn 4, we are 3 wide down the front stretch.
Chad Wilkes maybe playing the lead. They are single wide, but they fan out. They start going 2 wide, 4th on back, and then 3 wide a couple rows further on back. And it is absolute chaos and anarchy as these drivers try and file and work their way around each other. And look at that. Already the top 10 look like they're getting ready to go single file. But right now, the battle for the lead, the 75, giving a heavy push to the 6. But look at that, still 3 wide going around 3 and 4.
Yeah, coming out of 4 with riding around with Brian McCann and Ryan Kelly here, still side by side. Pretty much the entire field still double file racing all the way back. Top 3 or 4 cars still in single files. They try to pull away from these drivers. But, I mean, as you can see, these cars are all fanning out all across the track. Every lane can work here, just a matter of how you can pull it off. If the car gets a little loose there, that's Douglas Newbigging able to save it, though, as he files right back in line, leading that inside line on the backstretch here as they dive into turn 3.
Oh man, look at how many positions that number 7 lost. Even though he's on the inside, the shortest way around the track, he still lost a good 2 or 3 positions, as it looks like he's not going to be able to stop the bleeding. Oh, there he is. He cuts off that number 20, and the 20 goes down low. Douglas Newbigging with a very aggressive block early on this race, making sure he keeps that position, but still goes around to the outside, 3 wide going into 1, but here it is. The yellow flag is out.
Yeah, looks like we have a caution out on the track here as lap 4 had a short run here for the green flags, but a lot of cars on the field or on the track here, so we'll have a replay here shortly of what happened to bring out this caution. But we're still having some great racing all throughout the field, and that's the great thing about the next gen here at Auto Club. It's just the fantastic racing these cars have brought. Looks like it was way back in the field. They're the water and sun. Looks like it's Nicholas Renner in the 00.
Brian Noel. And look at that. Oh, he just gets up a little loose, getting out of 4. And especially with how close they run there, it's really hard to check up in those situations. And that might have just been one of those. Yep, look right there. He got a little loose. Brian Noel and Nicholas Renner get together. Oh, as we look at there. Oh, he just got a little loose, got up into, what is that, the other 21. So Ollie Fonseca unfortunately getting a little piece of that as well. But look at that, already the caution comes out at lap 6. Already people are driving really aggressively. Richard, how do you kind of take this with the caution at lap 25? We're going to bunch these cars back together.
It's early wreck, a lot of aggression for a lot of people, but that just seemed like got a little loose and no room was given. That's just going to happen. So not really any strategy about this right now. Everyone's just going to kind of race. We do have a 120 lap race, and by the way, I forgot to mention that the stage will be lap 25. They do have one stage here in WSSR. The fuel window is about 48 to 52 laps, and they do have 4 sets of tires in the pits that they can use. Start with this ones that they're starting now as well. So right now, it's not really a great time to pit. Still a long stage to go. 25 laps. Still got 21 laps to go. Track position is pretty much going to be really key here early in these runs, just because it's going to get stretched out. You're going to need the draft. So being able to be behind people is going to help you out a lot more, and to stay away from that hornet's nest in the back.
Oh, that's a little bit easier said than done, Richard. This track is, you kind of have to pick a side on either being really aggressive and making those positions early, or being conservative and saving the tires, anticipating a long run. You know, sometimes you, especially here at Auto Club, you kind of anticipate a long run. You prepare yourself so you don't run the tires as hard. You don't run the car as hard, trying to save your car for the end. And with these cautions, you can't do that. You start falling back, you start losing those spots, and it becomes more and more critical as these cautions could possibly start adding up, because cautions tend to breed cautions. But here we are as they get side by side, and we're one to go.
Yeah, one to go here as we follow the pace car there side by side. Didn't seem like a lot of cars pit. Didn't expect it this early in the race or in the stage run still. So going to have 19 laps when they come to the green flag for the rest of this stage. So, but Chad Wilkes is doing a really good job. Qualified up front on the pole, keeping Gavin Rogers at bay. So we'll see what he can do on the restart here to see if he can keep that lead going, or if Gavin can, challenge him on the outside.
And it's curious how it's, I think in the WSSR, Richard, if you can correct me, I think that the leader at least can choose lane. I think later on, could it be possible that the outside lane will come into play? But here we are. We see almost as we qualified, Chad Wilkes starting off in the pole position. Gavin Rogers there in the outside. Nick Crawford there also on the inside behind the number 6. We have a lot of racing yet to go, but the lights on the pace car are off, and he is getting ready to head to pit road.
Yeah, pace car coming, the field is coming out of turn 4. Pace car is going to make that hard left down to pit road. Coming up to the restart zone, it is all in the hands of Chad Wilkes as we get ready to drop the green flag, and we are green. The cars have fired. Chad with the jump, going to maintain the lead and jump right back up in front of Gavin Rogers. They get ready to head down into turn 1 for the restart.
Oh, there it is. Nick Crawford getting side by side with the 75. So you have the 74, 75 door to door. Oh, Ben Campbell with a huge checkup coming out of 2 and the 15. That also, oh, there it is. This goes into the wall, the 27. Also the 16 of Canada having issues. Now Gavin Rogers has been able to edge out the 74 for second place, but don't look far. The 2, Connor Berry, a rookie there, sitting there in 4th.
Yeah, Connor Berry showing that he's here for a reason, and that's the race up front, doing great with these being a rookie. And it's still just a Hornets as it looks like Gavin Rogers is making a move to the inside. The challenge for the lead from Chad Wilkes, and be able to do it. No! Does not look like he's able to clear him. He's going to have to file right back in line, right behind the leader.
It's better that than, getting caught out without the drive, because we look here, the 02 is going to give a shove to the 75 going into 3, and now the 74, who hasn't had that draft down the backstretch, will fall back almost to 4th, but as he's battled side by side with the 02, we are still side by side further on back. The battle for, it looks like 7th, the 7 and the 15, the 27, pushing hard down the front stretch, trying to edge their way ever forward, and then 3 wide behind them as they go into turn 1.
3 wide indeed behind them as they are all scattering for position, trying to get everything that they possibly can. And, this might not be a super speedway race like Daytona or Talladega, but draft is still a massive factor on this track because it is so long with such a long straightaway. And the long straightaway in the front as well, even though it is a turn. Like, every opportunity you can get to gain more speed, that draft is going to be necessity. If you get caught out, you're just going to get passed by everybody that are lined up using each other to try to get faster. As we look back right now, that's a big Hornets nest right back behind there. Still 2 by 2 pretty much throughout the field. And there is the fanning across the massive wide turns of Auto Club.
And you see there Danny Cochran in the number 2, the purple for Dark Horse with the 77 as well. And look at that, the momentum the outside line has as we were riding online with the 25 of Cody Reed, who also won his race there in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, so he's also working really well, trying to keep his momentum up through this series on the 3rd race of the series. But as they cross the front straightaway, we're starting to get a little ironed out here as Gavin Rogers looks to make a move for the lead of the number 6. Look at this, he is side by side coming out of turn 2.
Side by side again, trying to make that move for the lead, but just that outside line gets the momentum out of the turn. It's kind of like you have to make that pass in the middle of the turn and make sure you clear them coming out, because if you don't, that's what's going to happen. You're just going to sit there and just lose all that ground that you were trying to gain. So Gavin's got a lot of work to do to try to make that pass happen, but Chad Wilkes sitting comfortably in first right now, and Gavin just kind of riding around there and drafting second.
Yeah, Gavin Rogers right now, I think he's just learning. He's collecting data, as a lot of these drivers are. As we look, it looks like Nick Crawford has finally been able to settle down there in the 4th spot behind O2 of Connor Berry. But again, going back to Gavin Rogers, I think he's learning that. He made a move. He didn't have the momentum, but do you think, Richard, we could see the classic slide job? We're going to see a little bit of dirt racing action if we're going to make that move, since the outside line does have all that extra momentum. As we see here, the 25 going way up the track and trying to loop their way around these drivers, trying to make that spot back, and here they are. Oh, car in the wall coming out of 4.
And they're wrecking coming out of 4. Huge wreck as he hit the wall and caught massive air. Levi Cox and Tom Sinchek, massive wreck coming out of 4 as I slid down the track, but it looks like we are still green. That was not a caution.
You know, Richard, that happened out of the racing surface. That was on the grass, and they got going and up to speed before they actually merged onto the racing surface. So, like you said, they are going green. Look at the 24 going 3 wide, going into turn 3, coming out of 4. And again, we're seeing some of these drivers fall back that were aggressive. Some of these other conservative drivers start moving their way forward on lap 13, coming to lap 14. Richard, we have only about 12 laps until this stage. Are we going to see a little more aggressive driving for some of these top 10 drivers?
There might be only 12 laps for the end of the stage, but this is still a 2-mile track. There's still a lot of racing, as Zach Hall getting a little loose there in turn 2. You know, it's kind of expected with how hot this track is and just how this track runs. So still a lot of side-by-side racing, people trying to dive and get the positions they can. But, I mean, we could get 4 and 5 wide at times. We've seen it, a few times already in this race as they're 3 wide. But Zach Hall doing what he can to try to get up to that field, trying to get those stage points. Stage points can mean a whole lot when it comes to a championship run. And Zach would know, since he was our defending champion at the moment.
Oh, Zach would definitely know, and you saw him shoving the 2 into turn 1. He is still caught up in a mess between Cody Reed, Danny Cochran, the 77 of, I think that's Drew Drua, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, James Scioli, and he is pushing hard, but there it is again, the outside line able to prevail. Look at that, the 38 of Christopher Norris making an aggressive move. Oh no, there's a mess right there. Oh, James Scioli does not know what to do, but looks like they're going to work itself out of turn 4 onto the front stretch. And look there, we are riding on board with the 77. Richard, look at that, the outside line all lined up. A couple of drivers trying to make the inside line work, as we see there, a huge dive by the number 1 to get past the 2. But yeah, oh, look at that. He's going to wash himself up, cut up in front of the 25, and the 25 with the momentum, going to cut low, and look at that, just like that, Richard. A move could either make or break a spot, and you saw it right there with the number 1.
Yeah, Cody Reed doing a great job getting the momentum coming out of the turn to get the pass on to Zach Hall. He's given a challenge to Zach, though. Zach not giving up. Going to have the run a little bit coming out of 4, but it looks like he's just going to stick it on the bumper and follow him on around. James Scioli right there also hunting to try to get the passes as well. They're both some of the faster cars here at times and trying to get up there to that top 10, because, again, stage points are only working to the top 10 drivers. So it is a mad dash with only just under 10 laps to go until the end of this stage.
As we are following the battle with Zach Hall, a change in leadership has occurred. The 6 has fallen back. You see him now in 4th as they go into turn 3. The 75 of Gavin Rogers really charging hard, but the hero of the story right now is the 02 of Connor Berry, really leading this pack. And there it is, the 74 of Nick Crawford behind him as well. And here you see the top 3 cars all lined up, having that momentum. The 75 kind of hung out to dry, doesn't have the speed or the momentum. He's going to try to file in line and maybe make a move here into turn 1. But here we are, side by side for the lead here at Auto Club, Richard. This is exactly as everyone expects. Oh, the 71 gets a little close to the 6 there.
Yeah, Connor Berry doing a phenomenal job as a rookie. Showed a lot of speed last week at Pocono, and he's doing it again here at Auto Club, leading in stage 1. But he is being challenged by the likes of Crawford, our pole sitter Wilkes, Gavin Rogers, and even Brian Kelly and Brian McCann showing up in the picture, and even Douglas Newbigging back there, kind of lurking. Everyone's striving to get this top 10, and even that stage win, Gavin still stuck down on the bottom there, no help. Hoping to get somebody to step out of line and help him out a little bit, but he's starting to form a line there on the bottom of the track as they exit turn 2.
The 88 of Drew Jewell, last week's winner, coming in, trying to help him out. But it just, look at that, the power of that outside line. It's just so, just ridiculously overpowering to anyone trying to make a pass on the inside. And here we are going into 3, coming out of 4. They are almost 3-4 wide, and this is for second, third position, and they're still on each other. Richard, it is amazing the product this next-gen car on the Sims brought out, especially tracks like here at Auto Club Michigan, just absolutely amazing. You see the top 10 you can throw a blanket over, and that is the battle for stage points, with still 6 laps to go in the stage.
6 laps to go. This is go time now if you want to get your stage points, and that is what everyone behind is trying to do, is they're fanning out double wide, trying to get the passes in. But I mean, it's again, top 10. That's what everyone's aiming for at this point. You're close to the top 10. It's time to go. It's you know, a lot of people are going to sit in the back, try to hang out, not worry about getting us top 10 because they know they can't worry for the points, and now it's just survival. But they're coming out 3 wide in the out of turn 4 as they cross the line a couple rows. Decided to work it out, getting back 2 wide or in, you know, single file. But Connor Berry still leading this, doing a wonderful job. But still has Nick Crawford just kind of right in his shadow. Nick's gonna make a move, try to get the side draft down the backstretch. But it's side by side. He might be able to pull this off as they get ready to go into turn 3. As they side by side, Nick Crawford and Connor Berry.
Nick Crawford noses ahead of Connor Berry as they turn into turn 3. And Richard, you and I have experienced it, how strong the side draft is in this car. Oh, there was a huge slide coming out of 4. I didn't see what car that was, but that was an amazing save. That might have been the 74, and there is the 75 of Gavin Rogers to take that spot. Oh, looks like Chad Wilkes is going to try to attack on the outside, as well as the number 6 goes against the wall. And we are side by side, 5, 6 rows deep here at Auto Club with 4 laps to go in the stage. The 75 of Gavin Rogers takes the lead, but fights back is the Connor Berry 02 machine, and he is still going to lead us into turn 3.
Connor Berry still leading in OT, able to get that the lead back, but Gavin Rogers with a great run into the turn, finally able to clear Connor Berry as he takes the lead with only 3 laps to go in the stage as they cross the line. Phenomenal racing up here in the front. Everyone shuffling back and forth, passing for the lead, passing for 4th and 5th. This race is nowhere close to over in this stage.
It is time to go, and these drivers are getting it done. Look at this, 2 laps, 3 laps to go in this stage. These stage points mean so much right now. You see Gavin Rogers being really defensive down the backstretch, trying to make sure and cut off that inside line as he still takes about a lane up on the inside. And like you said, Richard, there's really all go right now. As we see, the O2 looks like of Connor Berry bounce off the wall. More contact into the wall. They're fanning out. There is a wreck coming out of turn 4. We see smoke. We see chaos and carnage. We are still green, and there is the yellow flag. And that, Richard, should be the stage.
That definitely should be the stage, and there was a lot of cars not totally involved, really, but a lot of cars I saw hit the wall. Brian McCann, one of them, kind of got right hooked a little bit up into the wall. So trying to figure out what really brought the caution out here as we watch the replay. Just kind of shuffling all over the place. Oh, it was way further back in the field.
Yeah, I don't know. Looks like Brian McCann might have started it as an accordion effect. He bounced off the wall out of 4, had to slow up, went across the track and went down. But let's see if this had an accordion effect further on down the field and down the running order. So you see the 21 and the 18, I believe. A little bit of contact there. You see the 38 of Christopher Norris and that Lids Camry. Oh man, it's still side by side, still going. Oh, there it is. That's the 46, it looks like. Oh, and then the 50 gets into the 67. So again, that must have been just a result of some sort of checkup out of turn 4. But a really bizarre turn of events. But look at that. Gavin Rogers made his move at the right time to gain those stage points and win that stage. And look at that. There it is. He bounces off the wall, comes across the track, and oh no! The 50 just spins, just trying to keep it out of the other cars. Richard, that's what these high speed tracks do. And it looks so big, it looks so wide, but when you're in these cars, oh man, coming up across the track before the field is clear, you know some of these reactions takes just fractions of a second to make.
Yeah, definitely. It's just unfortunate situation there, just some checkups and everything. But here we are. We're into the stage. Gavin Rogers, your stage 1 winner, as everybody's coming in to get pit stops done. Let's see if we can find Gavin here. If we can pull him up into the booth, give a little talk with him. I don't think we...
Let's let him make his pit stop first. Let's really gets
Yep.
on the track, because you know, Richard, you and I both have experienced heartbreak on pit road, and just a lapse of judgment or experience, or just losing focus for that little bit can definitely mess up that stuff. And there it is. He wins the race on pit road as they are 3 wide behind him, trying to get that second place spot. This is gonna be fun as they line up behind him.
Yeah, Gavin able to get the win or the race off pit road, still going to maintain first place, and can't find him. I don't think we'll be able to talk to him. That's okay. We'll be able to talk to him later in the race possibly, but fantastic showing by Gavin though. Did a great job, waited for the right moments to pass, got around Connor Berry and be able to take the stage win here at Auto Club.
And you know that I feel like he was maybe waiting and saving his tires just for a little, because I know Gavin Rogers fell back as far down as 4th position, especially about halfway through that stage. I don't know if he made a mistake or was trying to save purposely, but he ends up making it work and winning that stage with the pole winner of Chad Wilkes behind him. Ryan Kelly coming out of pit road 3rd, followed by Douglas Newbegin, and running out the top 5 will be the 74 of Nick Crawford.
Yeah, it was a fantastic end to the stage here. Great end to the stage as we're getting ready to, yeah, looks like it's going to be 1 to go as they come across the line here. Lights are out on the pace car. So Carl, some takeaways for stage 1 there. Saw a lot of patience by a lot of drivers up front and waiting for the last moments there to make their moves. So any thoughts on what the drivers can do or change for this longer part of the race of 95 laps?
Well, Richard, I think the mentality changes entirely. 25 laps here at Auto Club, 50 miles. It's not a long time here at this track, with roughly about 40 seconds lap times. It's very quick. So now you have to focus on the long part of this race. Yes, these drivers have the tires. That opens up the strategy for the tire wear, but the fuel is going to be more important. I think we get maybe 40, 50 some laps of fuel. So they're definitely going to have to make at least 1 pit stop. It's going to be hard to say. The stage 1 is completely different from stage 2, and we're going to have to just sit here and watch it unfold, Richard, as we come to green.
Yeah, green flag pit stops could definitely be a thing here now, as their fuel window is anywhere between 48 to 52 laps. So with the around 90 to 94 laps of green flag racing right here as we get ready to go to green, the pace car dives off the track. You know, it could be some great green flag pit stops, and Gavin Rogers firing off as we go green to start the last stage of the race. Gavin with a massive jump to lead this team or this field into turn 1.
Well, and look at that. The number 6 did not get going very well. You saw the 7 pretty much push the 6 all the way into turn 1 as they are 3 wide for second place. 6 against the wall, and these drivers are trying to warm up these tires, get some grip in the car. But the one driver who's not struggling right now is the 75 of Gavin Rogers, with the 3 of Ryan Kelly close behind in second place, with them side by side for 3rd.
Yeah, Gavin right there trying to put the draft into another lane to pull another car up to keep those guys side by side, because if they can stay side by side, that puts them slower than if they were single file trying to catch Gavin. So doing a good job trying to control the field, and it looks like everybody's kind of fanning out. Looks like it's a lot as aggressive this start as how we've seen the past 2 starts already, but still fanning out. That's your Auto Club. That's your Auto Club look right there. Those turns, cars almost going 3 and 4 wide in the turns, but able to still sort out. A few cars getting in the walls there, but still keeping it clean as we get ready to dive into turn 3.
And these drivers know now that they have the long haul ahead of them, and automatically, you mentioned it, Richard. It's much less congested. It's not nearly as hectic as it has been. As we go 3 wide with the 21 back there in the middle, down the front straightaway, and here it is, the 00 as well, trying to make a move, and they're going to go into turn 1, 3 wide. And it's still very, very little room between these drivers to figure out how they're going to come out of turn 2, but it looks like they're going to figure it out. The 73 losing some speed on that outside line.
Yeah, it looks like we have one car that just dove to the inside way in the back, but it is just a hornet's nest all the way in the back of the field. Just fantastic racing by everybody all across the field also. But just everyone doing a really good job, kind of staying off each other with a lot of respect. Letting people tapping the wall a little, this is going to happen, but just great driving by everybody.
You know, and honestly, this doesn't really surprise me. There wasn't a lot. There haven't been a lot of cautions in these previous 2 races. Atlanta, I think there might have been 2 cautions for incidents. Pocono, 2 cautions. So here we are at Auto Club, and we've only had 1 caution for incident. So really, this is definitely going to trend to green and go long. So the mentality, Richard, how do you save tires here at Auto Club at a track that is so big on overall speed?
Oh, just not as aggressive with the accelerators right around right now with Jared Hughes riding back in the 22nd position. As you see the field starting to line up like we're kind of expecting this race to eventually get to, but everyone's kind of finding their positions on the track that they like to run. Some people like running the middle, low, outside, everywhere you can run here at Auto Club, and I don't know what happened there. One car was down low. It looked like someone disappeared.
And there we are. You know, oh, there it is. More blinking cars. And that, folks, that is a little bit of connection issues with those vehicles. And it's crazy that, you know, Richard, netcode, as it said, you don't want to race around those guys because you never know whether our car could materialize in that virtual space. And there it is, a huge move by Danny Cochran in the 2. Look at that momentum. Look at that positions that he gained there, Richard. What a great move by the number 2.
Huge move from Danny Cochran, taking the inside of 2 cars 3 wide and still able to maintain the momentum as they get ready to go into turn 3 here. Danny, a fantastic move on John Forbes and Justin Malarkey to take that 31st position. Still, I mean, that's pretty far back in the field, but that's still some great racing. These guys are not giving up. They want to get up there. They want a chance to win this race. And Danny Cochran is definitely one of those drivers. He always likes to make moves in the race to try to make his way through the field. As we ride along now with the 22 of William McKellar IV. He's doing a pretty good job up there on the outside, riding back here in the 35th position. So a lot of these drivers, you know, the race is nowhere close to over, and just got to make the right moves at the right times and hope you get a little bit of luck as well.
Well, and see, there's no way to anticipate the right times for the right moves. We've seen it multiple times earlier where you may be thinking one thing and the driver is thinking another, and you don't quite see eye to eye on a move, and it just doesn't end up very well. But these drivers, as we watch them fan out 2 or 3 wide, they are much closer than I would anticipate, especially 15 laps or so into this one. As we see a wreck, there it is, smoke in the back, a hard hit to the outside wall. I think that may be the number, it's not the 8 of McCann, but I don't know what happened there. Maybe getting a little loose out of 2, ending up in the wall, but there's the 41 limping around the track right now, trying to make his way to pit road.
Yeah, The 41 of Cameron Thompson looked like he got a little loose coming out of turn 2 and might have tried to overcorrect a little bit, kind of shot him back up into the field and into the wall. But looks like everybody was able to get around pretty clean for the most part. No caution still impressive to see that no caution happened. But looks like everybody's still kind of chugging along. So, you know, that caution didn't come out. These guys are hurting. They're going to be hoping for a caution now later because they're out of the draft. They've got damage they want to heal or get repaired. They're just hoping for something to happen now for their race to be saved.
Oh, look at the 42 with the moment there coming out of 4. It looks like into the number 4. Had to get out of it. Lost a ton of track position for it. But as we look, if we go back to the front of the field, Gavin Rogers is in command, but not for sure. The number 3 of Ryan Kelly has been stalking that bumper ever so slowly, as you see him creep up there, up the backstretch, using that draft, using that slipstream, and letting the 75 go to the inside and roll the corner. Be a little more aggressive. See how the 3 kind of delays that entry a little bit, cuts it off just maybe about the 3/4 mark, and then drives off. Richard, with the way, so many different ways you can drive this track, which way do you think is going to save tire better? Do you think Gavin Rogers is trying to save a little bit, or do you think maybe Ryan Kelly is trying to use that drive, save fuel, save tire? Which side would you play here?
You know, I've raced with Gavin quite a bit, and he's very, very good at the long run and tire saving. So I feel like Gavin knows exactly what he's doing. Ryan Kelly also one of those long run drivers as well, and I know he's one that Gavin likes to look out for in the long races, the long runs of green flag racing. So both of these guys doing exactly what they need to do. Trying to use that inside line is a little slower. You don't have the speed coming out of the turn, but you're not putting the stress and the pressure on the tires as well. So they're saving a little bit of tire on that inside, you know, try to get that the faster long speed. But Connor Berry there getting passed on the inside by the 51 and the 7 looking to make the pass as well. Connor Berry kind of starting to fall a little bit.
And that 51, as you saw, Vincent Soar, that was a textbook move here at Auto Club. He was able to have the momentum, dove to the inside line, make the pass, and cut up in front of the 0-2 before the 0-2 could pass him, making that pass. And you see the 7 of Douglas Newbegin trying to make the move as well, trying to get that side draft on the quarter panel of Connor Berry as well. So Connor Berry looking like he's worse for wear so far on the long run, as we are already almost 20 laps into this green flag stint.
Yeah, 20 laps into this green flag stint. Fantastic driving by all the drivers. Almost 20 laps. But, yeah, Connor Berry's starting to falter just a little bit. You know, hopefully he can figure out what he was doing wrong and maybe picks it up. But Vincent Sora up 12 positions, started back in the 16th, now riding around in the 4th. Vincent Sora, another one of those drivers to keep an eye on. He loves driving or loves these long green flag runs as well. He's really fast and can save tires at the same time. That's a dangerous combination. As Connor Berry trying to startle the beast there, trying to make a move, but he's getting a move done on him by James Scioli.
And James Scioli, I think his name has been mentioned about a dozen times in each of these last 2 races. This guy has been able to run his way up front, stay up front, definitely make waves up in the top 5, in the top 10. But right now you see that, look at that, 2 to the inside, 3 to the outside, and look at that, 3 wide as well behind him. And they may be going 4 wide on the exit, as we see the 25 Cody Reed on the outside, the 13 Hello Kitty Pink Machine in the middle there coming out of 3. And look at that, they are going to totally almost annihilate that wall coming out of turn 4, and they somehow organize it, figure it out going into turn 1. Oh, look at that, the 68 of Jared Hughes also trying to make it to the inside. Some more action further on back in this pack, and there it is. Richard, this is, you can't sleep on this track. You cannot sleep, you cannot rest. No matter if you're watching this or racing it, it is always action-packed here.
It is a whole bunch of action here. This racing right here, this is in the middle of the pack. This is not for the lead. This is not for the top 5. This is back in 18th. These guys are racing for 18th position. Like they're not giving any inch. It's great to see. They're not sitting there riding around in the line. They're wanting to race, make the passes where they want to do. And it looks like they're all starting to calm down just a little bit, but every single one of these guys are still a contender. Cedric Hunter right there, another long run driver. He's known for running the really well with tire saving as well. So it'll be good to see him make his way through the field because he's like 6 positions from when he started in 21st.
And Cedric Hunter, you know, refresh my memory, Richard, but I think he was a front runner as well last season for the championship. So he's had a rocky start so far, I think, with a couple of wrecks to start the season. He's looking to rebound, get back on the correct footing, and move forward here. But sitting here right now in 15th position, kind of in the front end of the mid-pack, makes it some... I don't know, sitting here in 15th, you see in front of him mostly single file. Behind him is probably going to be a massive chunk of cars, and you see that behind him 3 wide, even going for 20th spot. So at least he's single file. He can kind of control his race now, make moves as all these other drivers file out and try to find the preferred line. And Richard, with the tires worn like this, what is your preferred line? As we see a ton of smoke coming out of 4.
Yeah, a little bit of smoke coming out of 4. Could have just been a car into the wall a little bit as well, maybe a little loose. But, I mean, preferred line, it seems to be the inside is what a lot of drivers are kind of migrating to try to save their tires. So we'll see what all the drivers do and how their pace is increasing. But a lot of drivers starting to move to that inside line, like I mentioned. So that's probably where they're going to be saving a lot of their tires. Not going to get this, the run down the straightaways as we see Joshua Kanata kind of pulling away from Cedric Hunter there a little bit. But we're up here back up front as Connor Berry still trying to make some moves. Shane Terrian now up here challenging for the top 5 with Douglas Newbinging as well. So these guys, they are not giving up. We still got a lot of racing to go before green flag pit stops. So we still got about, let's say about 20-ish, 30 laps to go till green flag pit stop. So I think it's going to be a good time to kind of take a break. Let's see what these drivers can do. Let's take a great time for this commercial break. But we'll do a fantastic job. We'll be right back, guys. Enjoy the racing on side-by-side, and we'll come back to you guys after the small break. And welcome back. As you guys were watching, as we had the commercials going, a lot of shuffling around with the drivers, still able to keep it straight, still under green, but they are not giving an inch up here in the lead as we're riding around with Shane Terry. And at the moment, it does start to look like tires are becoming an issue. A lot of drivers getting loose, trying to save their cars. So question is, do you want to come for tires, or are you still trying to go for that fuel window? As a couple cars still getting into the wall. This is going to be chaos, I think, eventually, Carl.
Well, Richard, you mentioned the 51 is good on the long run, and there he is in the lead as we see 3 wide. Oh, there he is! The 0-2, Connor Berry getting loose into 3. Coming out of 4, it looks like he saves it. No, he's in the wall. That is going to bring out the caution. And, Richard, that puts the question of green flag pit stops right now as moods, as we are... Oh, a huge hit by the number 22! Oh, man, Richard, this is crazy. I know WSSR has a penalty ladder, and that looks like an ARCA break if there ever was one.
I think that is the definition of an ARCA break. That was just, he came out of nowhere on our screen and just straight drove into that's the end, I think, for the day from both the 22 and the 02, which is sad to see for Connor Berry. He was up there swinging with the beast up there in front. And I mean, head on into the wall. That doesn't help. But then we ride along with the 22 coming into turn 3 and 4. And it's just, it doesn't look like he slowed down. Just late reaction, no slowdown whatsoever. Just drove straight into Connor Berry. Unfortunate to see. Oh, that is not what you want to see for both drivers. That might be the end for Connor Berry's night.
Right into the right rear quarter panel of the O2 as we come back. Drivers, of course, are making their way to pit road. Vincent Stewart leading him down, and right before the caution came out, Gavin Rogers able to snag that second spot. Ryan Kelly falling down to third, and here we are. Richard, we still are about 67 laps to go. There is going to have to be another pit stop. We spoke of that earlier about the fuel run. Honestly, the action is only just beginning because, again, we are still one stop away from the end of this race.
Yeah, I do think there is going to be, I think there's still going to be one more green flag pit stop because, I mean, yeah, you still have a lot, they're way out of their pit window, but tires were a necessity for this pit stop. Like, everybody was going to pit, everyone needed tires, everyone was getting loose. So this is more of a strategy pit just because, you know, try to get back to your comfort, try to make the moves you want to get through the field. But we're still going to have green flag pit stops, not in that green flag window yet. So... But it looks like one car did stay out. Justin Malarkey in the 73 now, the 73 out there leading. Gavin Rogers wins the race off pit road, taking the basically first position back away from Vincent Sora. So Gavin Rogers is going to be racing up there for the lead again.
Well, and that just exemplifies how important a good pit stall is here at Auto Club. Gavin Rogers had the second pit stall. He's able to drive straight forward to the exit of the pit road, while the 51 qualifying in 16th kind of had to go around some drivers and get to his spot. And I think that's where the key contributor of that change of position is. But yeah, I'm a little curious as to why the 73 of Malarkey stayed on, unless he's trying to get a point. That's the only thing I can see. It's just maybe a point later on down the line. But yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a interesting situation. Justin Malarkey, he's been 30 laps since his last pit stop. So we are going to be in for a very, very interesting restart here at Auto Club.
Yeah, I think he's just going to get blown away by these other cars with fresher tires. I mean, 30 laps is a massive difference of tires, and we've seen even some of the likes of like Gavin Rogers and them, they were getting loose out of the turns, you know, trying to control their cars. So I think he's going to get just passed as if he's standing still, but we'll see. He got his point for leading the lap. Maybe that's what he was aiming for, but we'll find out what his strategy is as they're coming down the backstretch 2 by 2. So we're back to, you know, restarts. Restarts are a lot of fun to watch. It's where we get a lot of our 3 wide racing as we get ready to go into turn 3 with the pace car. But unfortunate end to Connor Berry's night. It looks like he's back on track with he's only 2 laps down, so not terrible it seems. He's still got to have a lot of damage, but unfortunate still. It was nice seeing him up there in front as a rookie, swinging with the beasts. So we'll see him back up front later in the season. I am sure of it. Connor is a fantastic driver. He showed that last week. So pace car dives to the inside, going down pit road as we get ready to come up to the front stretch. And we're going to crank it up for this restart, y'all. Enjoy the sounds of the sim as Gavin Rogers is about to, or no, sorry, Justin Malarkey fires off. The green flag is out. Cedric Hunter kind of leading that group right there, trying to stay in the draft of Tarian as well, as the drivers, just excitement all around, moves being made throughout the entire field as they try to make their way back up and try to have that chance for the win here at Auto Club.
Oh, here we are, the battle for 16th with the 27-24 and the double 0-3 wide, and the 27 getting a huge shove down in the back there. But there we see the 13, the 9, the 16 of Kanata even down to the inside. These drivers are still side by side, and we saw earlier Richard, Gavin Rogers, he kind of burned up his tires early, had to fall back a little bit, pull them off, and then charge back, and there's a huge move by the 11, it looks like. It's the 11. But anyway, they're still 3 wide here through the field. And oh my god, the 27 almost gets spun out and he saves it. So again, still no time for rest here, Richard, at Auto Club Speedway.
That was the number set of Douglas Newbigging, not getting a little loose coming out of the turn and all the way down to the apron, but keeping the car straight, not getting back up to the field and wrecking. He's still on the track and running. Still has an opportunity to get back up through the field as he slots in behind Joshua Kanata now. But never want to see that, it's unfortunate getting loose, but being able to save your car and get back up into the field smoothly is definitely what can help salvage a good run. Drops all the way back to the 19th position, but it's just about to go 3 wide as he takes 3 out of Joshua Kanata on the inside. He's not able to have the run. He's going to have to slot back in and try again next time around.
Yeah, Douglas Newbigging really struggling in the second stage. He was definitely a top 10, top 5 driver all through the first stage. Saw him get stage points, and he is struggling right now. But as we look towards the front of the field, even the 9, the Shane Tyrion, there in 12th position. He is driving hard, trying to get back into that top 10. We saw him lurking in the top 10 during stage 2. As you see him go to the inside, as a lot of cars go to the inside. 77 also to the inside of the 2. Zachary Hall, we mentioned him earlier, finally making his way up to 8th place and hopefully able to make a run to the lead.
Yeah, Zachary Hall is working his way up little by little. Sometimes it's 1 by 1 is all you need to do. You don't need to pass 5 and 6 cars at a time, but Zach Hall making his presence known, trying to get up there. He's finally up into the top 10. Trying to help out here, but just the Hornet's Nest back here in the, basically 10th through 20th, just all right next to each other. They're 3 wide with James Scioli and Danny Cochran and Larry Yingling going into turn 1, even 4 wide as Shane Terrian's taking it low as well.
Ben Campbell, it is absolute insanity. Oh, there they are, they make contacts. 4 wide coming out of turn 3. They still are bumping the 24 and the 2, trying to link up, trying to get that momentum, but the 15 of Campbell goes for the 67, trying to make it on the outside, while the 11 of John Forbes Jr. tries to go to the inside of Danny Cochran. Danny Cochran cannot make a move on the 15 Campbell. There's just not enough space, and here we are, still 3 wide coming across the line.
Coming across the line, we're just under halfway through the race. These drivers are racing as if there's only 10 laps to go. They are definitely wanting to find their position on the track, get the positions they can, because again, like we mentioned earlier, we still have green flag pit stops to come up. They cannot make it on fuel the rest of this race. So where your position is when you're coming in for the green flag could mean a difference between a top 10 or a back of the pack finish.
Well, and on top of that, we're about 11, 12 laps on the run, and the weather here in California is actually very, very quite pleasant. It is quite nice. Air temp of 86, but track temp of 94. That's actually quite cool here for California. The wind speed a very calm 4 to 5 miles an hour going into the south here in the afternoon. It is actually very comfortable, and these drivers, the tires are starting to wear. They're starting to come into their own, and if you ran it too hard early on in the first 10 laps, you're going to start feeling it now. And we see now our pole sitter, the 6 of Chad Wilkes, in 7th position and under attack, almost 3 wide behind him. So, Richard, this far into the run, what are you trying to learn? What are you trying to figure out with your car?
At this point, you are just trying to get as many positions as you can. I mean, tires, we all know tires are going to run out about 30 laps in. That might be about the time they want to pit also. So this could just be running this car as hard as you can to try to get in positions you need for that green flag pit stop. But these drivers are doing a really good job. Kind of starting to just line up, getting single file right now. Everyone's just kind of chilling out. Still got a lot of racing to go. We still have just under half. We got 55 laps of racing left here at Auto Club. But these drivers are doing a wonderful job putting on a great show as we're riding around here with our pole sitter, Chad Wilkes. And yeah, he's doing a great job. Still holding on to the top 10 there. Getting passed by Larry Yingling there. But he's going to slot right back in, back up top. And Zach Hall making an appearance again. Trying to make a pass on our pole sitter.
You know, one car that seems to be action-packed 100% of the time so far is the 24 of Ollie Fonseca. He's stuck there in 15th. He's been as high as 10th, as low as 17th these past couple of laps. 3 wide, 4 wide. He's been literally in the middle of it all, and he goes again on the outside, and it's just absolute insanity the way these drivers are approaching this track so far, so long into this run. There seems to be a little more intensity ramping up. It's getting a little more tense on the track as well. So Richard, still 11 laps. I think these guys know where they want to pit, and I guess it comes down to who blinks first. Who pits first? You know, the undercut can make a huge difference here at Star Car Racing. When would you want to pit?
Well, again, they've only been out on the track for about 14 laps, so they still have quite a few, 36 laps or so before they need to start thinking about pit stops. So still got a lot of racing to go. But at this point, it's a matter of, do you want less time on the pit road, or do you want to make sure you have fresher tires near the end? Sometimes the undercut can really help you get a good lead, but you don't want to be too far out in front, because if you don't have drafting help, that field is just going to catch you and just drive right by you. So it's all about timing. It's all about who you're going to pit with and who you're comfortable pitting around. So, but everyone's doing a really good job just kind of taking a chill pill right now, just, riding around. But Cody Reed up here doing great in the third position. He's someone who's kind of moved his way up through the field as well. Our season opener winner at Atlanta. He was excited. Originally, Cody Reed was not going to run the entire season, but after winning at Atlanta, he decided, you know what, why not? Let's just run the full season out, see what we can do, and make a run for the championship, as he is running now in third place here at Auto Club.
Richard, I think winning the first race of the season would definitely motivate me to want to run the entirety of the season, and I think that's what Cody Reed decided to do. But not only that, we've seen a change of the guard. Gavin Rogers, who we last checked in on, was leading this race, now down to fourth, under attack by Vincent Sora for fifth, and Cody Reed in third, like you mentioned, Richard. Ryan Kelly, the number 3 machine, in second, and Nick Crawford again finding himself leading this pack. And once again, we've seen Gavin Rogers be this far down before. I'm starting to believe some of these drivers are thinking of saving, maybe playing the long game. But the reason I bring that up last time, Richard, is now, the green flag run is 60 to 65 laps. Do you want to put that in half at 30, or do you want to try to use that full tank of fuel? Does that depend on your track position, how your car's running? There's so many factors that go into the decision when to pit under green, or do you want to wait for that caution? It seems like a flip of the coin.
Well, the fuel load is 48 to 52 laps, so we're about halfway through this green flag run for these guys on a fuel load at 18 laps right now. So, some drivers are probably going to hold out and try and wait for that caution because, pitting under a caution is a lot less stressful and a lot less time lost than pitting under green. So, we might see some people roll the dice and gamble and wait for a potential caution, but I think for the most part, a lot of our top-end drivers, are more consistent up-front drivers are going to look to start pitting around that fuel window in there. So, but some of these drivers could be potentially saving their tires a little bit for a later push in this fuel run. That could be the reason why they're falling back, but right now they're just kind of chilling out. Gavin starting to dive low there, and Cody Reed might be making a pass going into turn 1. But the drivers are doing a really good job. This is some still exciting racing. Just watching all these drivers go different lanes in each turn has been just great to watch.
Well, and there have been some comers and goers. We've seen some cars fall off. Shane Terrian down there in 9th. I think he started this stage in the top 10. He has now fallen way down there in 14th. Really struggling, but Douglas Newbegin, another one of those drivers that have struggled in the second stage, but other drivers that have been able to rise at the challenge. Vincent Sora getting up there, Cody Reed getting up there, Ken Campbell, he started not so far up there. He started actually, I guess, in 10th, up to 7th, doing all right. Zachary Hall, last season's championship winner, doing all right there in 8th. I think the cream is rising to the top here, Richard, with a lot of these drivers who know how to run the long run. They're saving tires. They're not very aggressive. They're all trying to play a chess match against each other. When to make a pass, when to give up a position, when to save tire, when to pit. We are seeing it all in full right in front of us as we see a little bit of an issue between the 8 of Brian McCann, who started really up front of this field, and the 4 of Trevor Earhart.
Yeah, Brian McCann with an issue earlier in the race getting into the wall. He is still 4 laps down. Only car he's the first car lap down. Oh, I lied. Cameron Thompson is. But Brian McCann still holding on, trying to just, not finish dead last, trying to, not giving up. And that's what we like to see. He's racing alongside Jared Hughes. So just trying to salvage, an unfortunate event where he had to get some damage repaired when he hit the wall. But he has not given up. And he's got, heck, paint scheme of Brian McCann's is so cool. The split scheme of Dale Sr. and Dale Jr. It's so awesome to see that car out on track each and every week.
And I'm seeing a trend here in iRacing, the split schemes. I raced, Richard re-raced against one last night that was a really cool kind of Monster Jam, Gravedigger, Hot Wheels, and then I know you and I have ran one with the GTP. I really like the split schemes. It really adds a little variety, and on top of that, it confuses your competitors. You don't know, depending on which side you're on, is the car color you're associating it with. So a lot of guys get confused, which I find it kind of funny. It's a funny incident, but yeah, all these drivers are running really, really hard and really close together. And right now, Nick Crawford is kind of carved out about a quarter of a second lead against Ryan Kelly, Vincent Sarr, and Coda Reed. As behind them for fifth, it is side by side. Gavin Rogers falling further and further behind, falling victim to Zachary Hall and now Ken Campbell.
And even Chad Wilkes, our pole sitter, has fallen pretty far. He's back to the 23rd position, fighting for those of like Cedric Hunter. So he's been kind of falling off as well. Tires might have been trying to run too hard, and their tires might just be kind of failing them now. So this is where people have been learning, how hard can you run these cars to save the tires for these runs. It's a test moment right now for them, since they still got to pit for tires and fuel. So we'll see what they can do, if they can recover or figure something out different after the green flag pit stops. But Wilkes trying to gather back up and get back up there up front.
Well, we also have to take in some math, as right now Vincent Sarr making a move on the 3 for second place. So a lot of these drivers qualified between 40.5 and 40.7 seconds. That's how they qualified. Right now, they're running about 41.6, 41.8 or so laps, and so there's about a 1.6 to 1.8 second fall off. If you pit, you're gaining all that time back, but you also suffered in the long run. With 78 to go, we're getting close. Oh, there it is! Zach Hall in the wall! Huge run, huge bump by Cody Reed on the 25, and I think that's going to be some serious damage for a Season 9 championship winner.
Unfortunate to see, but that's just turn 4 for you. Zach Hall, just a hard hit into the wall. Don't want to see that. Just got loose. Oh, tried to save it. Just kind of snapped back up to the wall. Zach's still up in the wall. Looks like he's struggling with that car. He might have some damage. I think Zach's going to be coming in to get some of that fixed, because he is fighting that car right now to turn.
Oh, definitely. He was against the wheel. You can see how close it is, how much damage is on the right front. As we were on board, you can see how that wheel was to the left, and he smacks the outside wall of Forgan, misses pit entries, trying to stay on the track, not cause a caution, but he is falling further and further back, and that is just absolute heartbreak for our previous season championship winner.
Yeah, that is massive heartbreaking. You can tell looking at that right front, it is broke. It's still spinning, but it is not turned very well. So he is still trying to keep that car under him, trying to maintain control. He might just, as long as he doesn't have a meatball, Zach might just be trying to wait for that caution to get some of that damage. So no meatball on Zach Hall right now. So he could just be staying out there hoping for a caution at some point in time. We'll find out. No, it still doesn't look like he's aiming that car down to the pits. Nope, there he is, diving down. He's going to be going to the pits, get some damage repaired, get some fuel and tires, and see if he can salvage what has just happened. Unfortunate to see for our Season 9 champion.
Well, he's not the only one to come to Pro Road. As you see there in the background, there is, I want to say the 16 also pitting. He's the 18 also pitting. Not quite in the running, but that is Timothy Harper. We mentioned he started dead last and 43rd up to 32nd, but he's pitting now, and this actually may be the break he needs to try and gain some of those spots early. And there it is, the 9 of Shane Therian making the stop, trying to lock up the brakes and not speed on pit road. Richard, I think we have the start of our green flag stops here. Everyone seems to be on lap 29-30 of our pit road run.
Yeah, it looks like people are starting to make the call to get pit stops done. We've got 39 laps of racing left, so they are well within their window to pit. So now it's just a matter of how long do you want to run on old tires or how long do you want to run on newer tires. So we're seeing a lot of different strategy calls come out as we've seen a few drivers pit. We'll see if any of the leaders want to try to bite and try to undercut these pits as well, but it doesn't look so. They're all going to keep their nose up to the top of the track, round about turn 4, and still stay out on track and try to gain as much ground as they can on these cars that are pitting.
Well, look at this. We have a move on the lead. The 51 of Vincent Shaw are given a huge shove up the front straightaway to the 3 of Ryan Kelly. Ryan Kelly absolutely confidently taking the lead from the 74 of Nick Crawford. Although he hits the wall, getting out of 2. Nick Crawford is going to have a run. This 51 of Vincent Sora looking possibly, there it is. Side drive for the 74. And don't look down, but the 88 last week's winner of Drew Jua. Also in 4th, just waiting for one of these drivers to make a mistake and ready to pounce.
Drew Jua not been a talking point at all this race, really. Up here now racing in the top 4, trying to make a pass and contend for the lead as he's going to look low on Nick Crawford, take it 3 wide of Crawford and Kelly to try and make a pass for the lead, and he's going to almost clear Crawford, not able to quite do it, but there's still 3 wide as they come out of turn 2.
Oh man, out of turn 2, 3 wide, now 2 wide for second place. Vincent Sora decides to give a nice shove to the 74. The 74 decides to go to the inside of the 3 of Ryan Kelly. Nick Crawford definitely wanting that lead back in that clean air, but the inside line, he can't do it, can't carry the momentum. Here he comes, the 51 trying to make a move. Oh no, Juju in the 88 goes to the outside of the 51. 51 going to lose the draft, and there it is, just you see in just the quickest of an exchange. The 51 of Vincent Sora down to 4th, but now makes it 3 wide for second place between the 74 and the 88, and just can't quite make the inside line work. And just like that, what a shakeup of position here, Richard.
These drivers are not giving an inch to each other as they are passing and making passes and trying to get to that lead. But we got Shane Terrian, who's just out of the pits and fresh tires. He's going to be trying to give it his lap back here through these guys, but just everyone wanting to make passes at any opportunity they have. They are putting on a show with these older tires. They are now 32 laps on these tires. So doing a great job keeping these cars fast and keeping them straight. So, but great run by all these drivers in the top 5 as they all kind of, looks like they've chilled out a little bit too wide from, looks like 3 or 4 rows back. Going to be too wide back there, but the top 3 or 4 are just in a line. But it looks like Drew Jua going to make another look to the inside of Ryan Kelly as he shoots low going into 3, and the caution is out. We've got a wreck in the back.
Oh, and talk about opportune timing for the 9 of Shane Terrian, able to get his lap back right before the caution on those fresh tires. We'll see if that hurts him, but honestly, Richard, with the amount of tires, he could possibly come back and get another fresh set, but he himself only has about 3 or 4 laps on those tires. And we go back to the replay, 3 wide with our pole sitter of Chad Wilkes, the number 7 of Doug Newbegin, all together. Look at that. We even see the 13 Cedric Connor, the 16 of Kanata. Oh, there they get together. The 20 and the 7, the 16 all together. Wow, I'm actually impressed that that didn't end up in more damage for all parties involved. But given what we've seen, that was actually just really hard racing coming out of 2, trying to stay low out of it. And I think possibly that the 13 was the 7 or the 13 was expecting a little more room for the 20 to go closer to the wall, and that might have been the cause of the issue there. But otherwise, that could have been worse. That was actually very good for all drivers involved.
Yeah, well done by the drivers, but it just looked like the 20 just moved down the track a little bit too much. I guess he didn't realize that this Douglas Newbegin was that close to him. Kind of giving some room to Cedric, but comes down, collects both Newbegin and Kanata, but driver's able to keep it out of the field and basically keep it straight. So the caution really coming out for the 20 of David Medina, just getting sideways there. But like you said, perfect timing for Shane Terrian as he gets his lap back right as he passed the leaders. So that's great timing for him. Everyone coming in for pits. This is going to be the last pit stop of the race unless people want fresh tires if another caution comes out.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Maybe just like last week, another late race caution comes out. But right now, I think I'm seeing the 9 of Shane Terrian being marked as the leader. Shane, of course, pitting earlier in that green flag run, decided not to come and pit out. Looks like Kanata is in front. There's a huge discrepancy on strategy here, Richard. I am intrigued. Please explain.
A lot of strategy here, but we're gonna talk to Shane Terrian real fast to see what his feelings are after that one, because great work by him. But we're gonna pull Shane Terrian over here into the booth and give him a talk while we're under caution. Hey Shane, it's Richard and Carl up here in the booth. We got you, Shane.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I got you.
Hey Shane, how's it going, man? Great timing for that caution as you got your lap back right as the yellow came out. How you feeling after that?
Lucky, but also unlucky because I was kind of hoping it stayed green. So now I'm on like, I don't know, 8 lap older tires. So I don't know if I'm gonna hold on.
So Shane, you decided to pit early there. How's the track feeling? How's the car feeling? Was there a reason you wanted to pit there? Was it all strategy from the beginning, or is it just how you're feeling, how the car's feeling?
I was committed to cutting this last one in half if we stayed green. So I knew between 80 and 85 I was gonna pit regardless. But yeah, the track is interesting. I'm not sure where to run to save these tires because I ran bottom the first run and tires were saved better. Ran bottom the next run, the tires weren't saved. And I ran middle the next time, and tires weren't saved. So I got nothing.
Well, Shane, still you're doing a great job. You've came up, you've been racing with these leaders. You made a early pit stop, and now you're out front because of a lucky yellow flag there. So good luck, and I hope you can hold on to the car here, and look forward for a great finish to this race.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was Shane Terrian, everybody, as he holds the lead. He's going to fire off the restart for the field, sitting on 7 lap older tires than the rest of the field. As he said, he was hoping it'd stay green, but who knows? Maybe he might have something in the tank there. Maybe he can figure something out later in this run that, he hasn't found the rest of the race. So, but getting ready to go green here as we get rounding turns 3 and 4. Ryan Kelly, Vincent Sora, Nick Crawford, all around Shane Terrian. So we'll see if Shane can hold on here and run with these leaders. He usually can. One of our faster drivers as well. As the restart is up to him. Get into the Geico restart zone, and Shane Terrian launches off and takes the green flag with just over 30 laps to go.
And there he is with a great restart going into turn 1. The 51 giving the 9 a decent shove on the inside line. The one advantage I'd say that Shane has right now is his tires are a little warmer. They're going to come up to... Oh, no! There's a car on the outside line. There's a 25 Cody Reed taking out the 27 as well. They sprint out. Oh, no! Our pole sitter, Chad Wilkes, also taken out. That is also going to bring out the caution here on lap 90.
A crazy wreck in the back. Cody Reed up into the wall, kept it there, but then Chad Wilkes, don't know how he got loose there, just dove, like his car got turned up into Cody Reed, and just mayhem right here in the front to middle of the field. Unfortunate Cody Reed here on the outside here on the replay. So he gets loose coming out of turn 2, just puts himself into the wall, did a good job keeping the car that gets rear-ended a little bit there. Kind of makes a checkup, but Chad Wilkes nowhere to go, it looked like, just hit the brakes and just kind of turned up into Cody Reed. Unfortunate to see. And then Cody Reed backing down into the field a little bit and collected another car. And just an early caution right after the restart. Oh, unfortunate run for Cody Reed. Was having a great run today and ends in heartache.
Definitely unfortunate, but call it the commentator's curse. I was just saying how treacherous these cold tires can be. And added to when you're trying to get up through the gears, trying to accelerate, trying to keep up with the competitors, you just want to squeeze a little more out of that accelerator than what is probably good for the vehicle. And we just saw it there. Cody Reed giving it a little too much, getting sideways, an absolute calamity and carnage through turn 2, and here we are under caution again, and looks like Shane Terrian gets to lead a few more laps and keep control of this field, and will also be able to control the field on the restart. So right now Shane Terrian looking like a genius so far with his pit strategy.
Shane Terrian definitely looking like a great move by him when he pit. Another thing that this is going to allow him to do with the caution coming out so early is being that his tires were a little older, they were a little warmer also than all the other drivers. So this will give those tires even more time to cool off to allow him to get a little bit more grip out of it. As we see Justin Malarkey coming around with the lucky dog there, getting his lap back. But still an unfortunate event for Cody Reed. Was doing great, just kind of got loose on cold tires coming out of turn 2 and up into the wall. But oh, it's going to be exciting, these last 27 laps of racing. It's just winding down. The end of this race is getting closer and closer, and Shane Terrian just looking like a genius, like you said, Carl. Just up here up front. He's going to ride around these couple of laps and see what he can do when we get ready to go green again.
Exactly. The intensity is ramping up. Shane, this couldn't have worked any better for him. It does look like we are going to go green with about 27 to go. And so pretty much everyone's made their last pit stop. We're on the set of tires you're going to end up on, unless something happens, you get some damage. Track position has apparently been able to really dictate how this race goes. Ryan Kelly and Nick Crawford have been up in the top 5 all race long. They are with the less worn tires. They have about 6 or so laps fresher tires on their vehicles. So with that, you mentioned how warm Shane's are going to be. Now the 3 and the 74, their tires are also going to get warmer. Do you think those drivers are going to be able to have a little bit of a better restart here as the lights go off on the pace car?
Well, I think Shane Terrian's still going to have the overall restart bonus here, I guess you could say, just because he can start whenever he wants to in that Geico restart zone. So he's going to get the launch. But whether or not everyone else can get the power down when he does to be able to stay side by side with him, it's all about timing. So, but they're going to have a little bit warmer tires around him, so they're going to have probably a little bit more grip. Not going to be as loose, maybe. But Shane, his tires were able to cool down in these cautions, which is also a benefit for him with a little bit of older tires. So we'll see how it goes. Definitely Shane's going to launch really well, get up front, and then whether or not he can maintain that or the run comes from the outside from Ryan Kelly and Vincent Sora, who tend to work really well together. It's possible that they might get the run they need down the backstretch to make a move going into turn 3. But we're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors again, GTR Simulator. Go check them out if you're looking for an innovative simulator that brings F1 inspired engineering to your home. Use code WSSR for 10% off. Again, that's code WSSR for 10% off at gtrsimulator.com. As we get ready to go into the Geico restart zone to restart this race, Shane Terrian takes the green flag as we head down the front stretch, cross the start finish line with a great jump to start lap 93.
Oh, Shane with a decent start, but there it is, the 3 getting side by side going to turn 1, and right there you see those newer tires on the outside line. Shane goes up the track, getting into the door of the 3. Here comes the 74, crossing the nose of the 51. Vincent Sora goes into the backstretch. There it is. They are wrecking the 24 sideways, and they are still spreading out the 6. Huge wreck, the 73 into the wall, and there's another caution, Richard. Here we are, cautions, 3 cautions, and we have come to the last 25 laps.
Oh man, it was a parking lot almost on the back stretch, but it looked like, oh man, Shane Terrian got a little tight coming out of turn 2 as it got up into Kelly a little bit. Everybody kind of drifted up the track, and Vincent Sora off the rear bumper. Heavy impact to the inside wall, and cars scattering. A few other cars got involved there, but that was a hard hit for Vincent Sora. Crawford got up and got into the wall a little bit, which kind of got Sora turned a tad. I think he might have gotten a little push as well. And just cars scattering across the track, trying to dodge what they can. But that's going to be a tough break for Vincent Sora. He has not had a strong start to this season.
And man, he has had a rough start to this season, but he's had a very strong car. Huge speed, been able to battle up at the front, just lady luck not with that 51 car so far this season. An unfortunate end to his race, and he did so well past so many cars to get to where he was to battle for the lead tonight, and for it to end like that, just unfortunate. We see some of the aftermath also on the 24.
24, Ali Fonseca is showing a little bit of damage. We have quite a few drivers with meatballs. That is required damage. For anybody that doesn't know what a meatball is, what we refer to, that is required damage. When they come into pit, they have to take that damage before that car is allowed to be back out on track. So we have Cody Reed with required damage, Vincent Sora required damage, just a long list of cars that their race could potentially be done. Their race is ruined after this wreck.
And a bunch of drivers that have been battling in the top 5 for that lead, the 51, the 25, this race is all of a sudden turned on its head. And right now, again, Shane Terrian being out of that mess, not having to worry about the cars in front of him, being able to almost run his own race, still on older tires, still in second place behind Ryan Kelly, but no, look now, the 74, Nick Crawford looking to pounce in. Gavin Rogers, the 75, creeping up there in 4th position.
Yeah, Gavin Rogers still doing really well up there in the top 5. He has been there basically all night, so doing a good job there. But unfortunate end to Vincent Sora. That is just another race that he is just involved in a wreck. And he is one of our faster drivers. Just to see him not have a good start to a season is just very uncharacteristic for someone like Vincent Sora. So I hope luck turns his way in 2 weeks. He's definitely looking forward to this Thanksgiving break next week. I don't think he's ready to get back out on track after this start.
No, Vincent Sora has definitely had a uncharacteristic start to the season. Very rough, very demoralizing in a driver of that position, and it's very unfortunate to see a driver of that talent, of that speed, just not been able to show that, being last in points, being kind of the caboose of this whole WSSR freight train is just unreal to hear. And that's why we race every week, Richard. You never know what is going to happen. And the lights are off on the pace car. Looks like Ryan Kelly decided to choose the outside on those fresher tires. Shane Terrian on the inside, but has the 74 behind him. We are in for a whole bunch of action, folks. Don't turn away.
Yeah, we're about to shoot back off again. And Ryan Kelly, like you said, the leader does get to choose the inside or outside lane. So Ryan Kelly opting to choose the outside lane for the restart. It will be under his control again when we get back to the Geico restart zone. He should be able to get a great launch off the restart, get ahead of Shane Terrian. Hopefully Shane Terrian doesn't get tight like he did last restart. Maybe he can, stay not in each other's doors this time, but just an unfortunate wreck last time, but that's fine. We're back. We're lined up. We're ready to go. It's all under Ryan Kelly's control as the pace car gets ready to dive out of turn 4 down to pit road. And on the front stretch, the drivers come. It is all in the hands of Ryan Kelly. The drivers are getting bumper to bumper into the Geico restart zone. And there he goes. Ryan Kelly with the launch restarts this race with just over 23 laps to go.
Ryan Kelly with a great start. It looks like the 9 behind him did not get going the way he wanted. Stuck at the inside line. 3 wide, going for 4th position. The 77, 74, 67 all together. Gavin Rogers, we haven't spoke his name in quite a while. There he is, making the power move on newer tires to the outside around the number 9. And now he's going to solidly cement his way in second, looking to set his sights on that 3 car in the lead.
Gavin Rogers sneaking up into the second place, eyeing the rear bumper of Ryan Kelly. But Shane Terrian still holding strong there in 3rd position as they are 2 by 2 all the way around him, even 3 wide back there for the 5th and 6th position. It's Danny Cochran, Ken Campbell, and 77 of James Scioli. As Scioli gets around, Danny Cochran still stuck in the middle of the 3 wide.
And this is a battle for 6th. Danny Cochran cannot get a break, getting squeezed by the 00. There it is, the 77 the 77 decides to go to the outside. Ken Campbell lining out that front end, but here we are again. The 77 of James Scioli trying to make a move on the inside. That 2 just surviving slowly, ever so slowly creeping his way up into the top 10 and hopefully into the top 5. As it looks like the 9 is going to make a move on the 3.
And while we were talking about this group in the back, there was a change for the lead. Gavin Rogers able to get around Ryan Kelly for the lead, but now he's going to get challenged back on the outside by Kelly and Shane Tarian on the inside. It's not over yet for this lead position as he's going to maintain it now. Shane Tarian back able to get up there into the second place, slots in right behind Gavin, but Larry Yingling and Nick Crawford side by side going into turn 3. Nick trying to make a move on to Ryan Kelly. Into turn 4 here, they're 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 throughout the field in the top 10 as Gavin Rogers going to lead this lap also as they get 20 laps to go here in Auto Club Speedway.
Shane Tarian with the draft, but here we are lined up the top 5 single file on the outside. Here we are, Nick Crawford also trying to make a move on the 15 of Ken Campbell. Finally made his way up into the top 5, trying to make his name known. And it looks like the 9 of Shane Tarian also having a oh my god, Doug Newbigging making an issue down on the backstretch, and there it is. His action everywhere as we see the 2 also 3 wide on the outside. It looks like Doug's struggling, but there's the 13 on the other side of the spectrum trying to make a move. Oh, we have a car around the 77 of Scioli down the infield on the grass. No caution yet. He is still trying to get going.
James Scioli takes a ride down through the infield, dirt tracking a little bit here at Auto Club, but the caution does not come out. Scioli gets back underway. We are still green flag racing, and a lot of these drivers were hoping for that. I guarantee you, they love every driver out here loves racing. They don't want to sit here and pace. So the caution not coming out, that's a great thing for us also, as we have great racing to show. These drivers not giving up. They are still trying to get up there, get to the lead, as Shane Tarian still trying to challenge for the lead on older tires. Got to run on Gavin, but not enough. Going to slot in behind and just follow him through 1 and 2. Gets close, but nothing. Larry Yingling coming into the picture with Ryan Kelly, also his teammate. Shane Tarian closing that gap, though, trying to get the run down the backstretch. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it. Gavin still maintaining in the front with Larry and Ryan Kelly fighting for P3.
And Gavin has to know, Rogers has to know that he's fighting a car with older tires. If he can just keep Shane in behind him, then he knows he should be able to manage his race. But here we are, Danny Cochran, he has fought. Danny Cochran has fought from the 20th position all the way up into 8th, really trying to make a statement here, trying to get these points, making a run for the championship. But we are side by side. Oh, it looks like a little bit of contact between the 00 and the 15. Even the 74 in front of him and the 88 of Juju also getting into it. Fisticuffs between the 67 also and the 3. These guys are going all out. There is all take, no give. We are going left and right. We are swinging for knockouts, Richard. There is no doubt that these drivers are giving everything they have out on the track.
And the 00 of Brian Noel is definitely one of those drivers, as he is up 29 positions from his starting position of 38 up here in the top 10. Noel doing a wonderful job from the back to the front all race, staying out of trouble and challenging some of these drivers, trying to make his way up into the top 5. Doing a great job. He was getting a little fendery there with Ken Campbell, but just fantastic work from Brian Noel to move all the way up through the field. As we are riding along with Nick Crawford, they are still side by side and fighting to get into the top 5 up here. It is just side by side racing, no inches given by any of these drivers. Everybody is striving for that win here tonight.
Richard, I think you need to trademark that. fendering. I think that's trademarked. So that's exactly what we're seeing tonight. It is unreal the amount of inches that these drivers are giving each other, yet here we are seeing smoke, seeing some bent fenders. An absolute fendering is happening tonight going into 3. And here we are again, Gavin Rogers in the lead, followed by Shane Tarian, Ryan Kelly, Larry Yingling, and Nick Crawford running up the top 5 as they cross the line, coming to 14 to go.
Ryan Kelly trying to get low to give his teammate Larry Yingling some drafting help there, but Larry just stuck on the inside. He's finally able to slot back up, but just lost a few positions there as Danny Cochran's now is trying to challenge Larry for position, and still side-by-side racing and passes happening for this top 10. They are just showing us all the excitement tonight. These drivers putting on a show for everyone watching today.
Oh, not a doubt. And here we are, and obviously with Kevin Rogers and those newer tires can still not pull away from the old tires of Shane Therian. 6 laps older tires, but also Ryan Kelly on the same strategy as Kevin Rogers, on the same tires. Oh man, huge block by Larry Yingling to try and keep the two behind him. Not only are these drivers desperate to make passes, they're also desperate to keep the positions they have. As we are seeing the extreme blocks going, Shane under attack by the 3. Oh no, the 16 of Kanata going to the inside wall. He locks it down underneath the race surface, keeps it out of the wall, and I think we're going to stay green, Richard.
Another driver losing it coming out of turn 2. Unfortunate to see, but doing the right thing, holding the brakes down and down on the apron so the race stays green. Still no caution. Some driver was probably hoping for that to happen, but Gavin Rogers was not one of them as he's still up front and leading this race. This race is getting exciting. It's already been all race anyway, but they are still side by side in this top 10 as Nick Crawford trying to take the low line, maybe get a little draft to Ken Campbell. No, he's going to slot back in as well, but Brian Noel here leading this small group of cars, and Douglas Newbigging making an appearance again back up here, trying to challenge for the top 10 as well.
And as this top 10 battle is going, Ryan Kelly makes a move. Oh no, there's contact! There's strike the 14! They are crashing down the front straightaway with the Douglas Newbigging, and that brings out the caution with 12 laps to go.
The dreaded caster curse just happened. Douglas, I apologize. That was unfortunate to see. Looked like Brian Noel got a little high in the 14, got into his fender and got loose and drove down into Douglas Newbigging, which is what brought out the caution there. Unfortunate to see, but that's what happens when you guys are racing for every inch on this track. Douglas Newbigging there trying to have low, get the run. 14 underneath Brian Noel. Brian Noel's going to go high. The 14 kind of gets up into him a little bit, gets shot down low and just right across Newbigging's nose. A few other cars involved there. Unfortunate to see, but caution with just about 10 laps to go in the race. Carl, do you pit for tires or do you just stay out there and track positions king?
It depends on where you are. If you are already up front in the top 5, I don't see how you can pit. Even if you are Shane Therian and you can't pit, but it looks like Shane is pitting for those tires. He's going to lead most of the field to pit road. So interesting. I definitely would triumph track position, but a lot of drivers electing to pit. This is very, very interesting.
That is a lot of drivers down pit road to get some fresh tires for this last 10 or less than 10 laps to go. And that is a lot more drivers than I expected to go down pit road also. So that could mean the difference on who wins this race or not. So, I mean, this is going to get wild. Stay tuned, everybody. Do not exit out yet. We still have 9 laps to go, and over half the field has fresh tires. Carl, do you think those fresh tires are going to matter now since over half the field went?
Oh, definitely. The leaders up to 8th place of Brian Noel are on 24-lap old tires. Shane Therian is in 9th place right now with fresh tires. I think this is going to be huge. I think Shane is in a perfect spot to snag a win on strategy and on tires. And with what do we got? It's 10 laps. We're going to go green with 8 laps to go. I think Shane is in the perfect spot now to steal a win from the rest of the field.
I think I could agree with you. Shane electing to pit, leading the field basically down pit road. Shane might have just got the call that he wanted to make with fresh tires, because that's a 23-lap difference, and we saw what 30-lap tires look like. I mean, that's almost a second difference from their fastest laps, more than likely on fresh tires, compared to 30-plus lap old tires. So those cars in the back, yeah, they still have 9 cars that don't have, new tires up in front of them. They still have to get around them. It's still not going to be an easy task. Gavin Rogers, though, as the lights are out on the pace car, Gavin going to elect on the inside to restart this race. Oh, Carl, not many laps to go. This race is about to get topsy-turvy.
Oh, Richard, the gloves are off. It's over. We mentioned no give, all take earlier. I think it's amplified itself by a factor of 5. It's going to be all take. There's going to be no room, no quarter given. We're going to see 4. We're going to see 5 wide in the middle of the field. I'm calling it right now, especially with Shane Therian. He's going to be starting on the outside line behind the 0-0 of Brian Newell. That outside line really works on the restart. We're going to see the 9 try to make a bull's charge to the front and take this checkered flag. Richard, we are in for one heck of a battle, and it is not over until it's over. Get ready, buckle up, and strap in.
The wild ride is about to start. It's been wild all race, but it's about to get wilder as we come through turn 3 and 4. Brian Noel, who was involved in the last caution, not a lot of damage to repair apparently, as he is still in the top 10, sitting 7th position, 31 spots up. One biggest movers so far this race. Will he be able to maintain that or even pass for a potential win with Shane Therian to his outside as well? As the pace car gets ready to dive to the pit road here, the cars are coming around the front stretch. Gavin Rogers leading them into the Geico restart zone. Gavin, green flag is out, and Gavin starts the race off, and we are back under green racing.
Ryan Kelly had an absolutely horrible restart and could not get going. In fact, he's going to get passed by the 88 of Drew Jua, last week's Pocono winner, and he's also possibly going to get passed by Nick Crawford, and we are 3 wide further on back, and it is on, Richard. We have 8 laps to the checkered flag. The 2 of Danny Crocker making a huge move for 4th. It is going to get wild, crazy. And there's Shane Therian on new tires going up to Larry Yingling. Brian Noel making a 3 wide, pinching the 38 of Christopher Norris down. Shane Therian going 3 wide, still there 3 wide, down in the wall, through the front straightaway, crossing the start-finish line. Remaining 3 wide is Shane Therian.
3 and 4 wide, these newer tire drivers trying to move their way up through the field, and that is a name we haven't really talked about all race. Christopher Norris, another abysmal start to the season, being involved in wrecks, and he is up here in the top 10 now. Christopher Norris doing a wonderful job on these newer tires, sitting 7th, trying to make his way forward as we ride along with Cedric Hunter, who is also looking to have a strong run running up here as well.
And here we are, Ryan Kelly, Nick Crawford, Danny Cochran, on the 77 cars in the wall. We are 3 wide again. Shane Therian trying to make moves. Ryan Kelly slowly falling back here as Gavin Rogers still trying to run away with Drew Drua hot on his heels. Nick Crawford also, and there is the mess. 4 wide again going into turn 1, and no wonder they are really trying. Ken Campbell getting loose, still holding it. The 77, oh, they're wrecking. The 15 to 38, the 77 down, wrecking on the back lane, and here we are, caution with 6 laps to go.
Massive wreck on the back shreds. Cars going 3 and 4 wide, coming out of the turn and just up into the walls, not being able to keep the car from getting loose and down into the field as it took out a good handful of drivers. That was Scioli there, got on the wall. Christopher Norris down into the Campbell, and then just the domino effect of drivers behind him. Douglas Newbigging also getting involved in that. That was another strong driver with massive damage at the end of this lap. Right there as we're riding along with James Scioli, it looks like just unfortunate. Gets up in the wall and just gets a little loose. Can't get the car straight. Just other cars behind him getting spun around as they're close to each other as well, and just causing the fan out of everyone. Almost nowhere to go, which is hard to say sometimes here at Auto Club. Another handful of drivers back down pit road to get damage and tires. Oh, this race is getting wild and nobody is giving an inch. So we'll see how it is. Gavin Rogers, he's probably looking forward to these cautions to wind these laps down. We're more likely going to be in a natural green-white checkered as we got 5 laps to go. 4 as he comes over Ross, but another huge set of cars coming down pit road. More damage to be fixed. But Gavin looking for these cautions for those newer drivers to not be able to move up and challenge him for this lead. Oh, we got So, but just Gavin Rogers. We got Gavin Rogers leading, Drew in second, Nick Crawford in third, Danny Cochran fourth, Shane Terrian still holding strong up there in the fifth position. Newer tires, Ryan Kelly in third, Trevor Earhart. That's a name we haven't seen up there in the top 10, riding in seventh place. He's doing a great job tonight. John Forbes Jr., winner from earlier this week in the ISRC, I believe, sitting there in the 8th position. And Samuel Garcia in the 50th, sitting in 9th. And rounding out your top 10, we got Chris Stitz making an appearance again, back up in the top 10. So we got race report. We had 8 cautions tonight for a grand total of 19 laps of cautions, 13 lead changes, and 97 green flag laps. So it's been a wild race for sure. A lot of the cautions have been in short succession. So cautions breed cautions. Let's hope we can get some more green flag racing here. We're going to have some green white checkered racing coming up here for us.
Oh, definitely. We're 4 laps to go, and you mentioned Chris Sitz up there in 10th. We haven't mentioned that car almost all night long. He's been just kind of biding his time, just sitting back there. But now, with all the damage, with all the carnage that has kind of unfolded in these last few laps, he's been able to work his way to the front and make good work on some strategy. Even the 50, Samuel Garcia, we saw him involved in some wrecks earlier on, and he's in the top 10. So it is really this leaderboard is really shaken up, and it's exciting to see as we go. 3 laps to go, and Richard, we are going to come around to a natural green-white checkered as the lights on the pace car are out.
Lights on the pace car are out. Yeah, natural green-white checkered. So that means we'll come around. We'll have 2 laps to go. The green flag will drop. The next time around will be the white flag, pending any caution. As long as the drivers take the white flag, there will be no cautions after, and the race will be official. If there's a caution before they take the white flag, they will have green-white checkered overtime attempts. So it'll be the same thing. We'll have 3 attempts at green-white checkered. Any caution, any flag before the white flag comes out, they will re-rack and redo it again. As long as they take the white flag, the race will be official. So the race is on to try to get to that white flag lap. Gavin Rogers will be leading them, and he is one of the 5 drivers in the top 10 that have 30 lap old tires. Shane Terrian is the driver with the newest tires that are highest up in the 5th position. So let's see if Shane Terrian can utilize what he's got left on those tires to move his way up and try and challenge Gavin for the win. The pace car is now off the field. The flagman has the flag in the air. Gavin to the Geico restart zone, and the green flag is out. Gavin fires off with a great restart right up front, and we are underway with 2 laps to go.
A magnificent start of momentum for Gavin Rogers as he arcs into turn 1 through turn 2, uncontested and unafraid as he walks his way out of the exit of turn 2 with everyone behind him going side by side. Oh, huge momentum by the 11 going 3 wide down the back stretch. He started on the outside, was able to gain the momentum, exit low on 2, and make a pass. That was very, very impressive for the 11 of John Forbes Jr. as he continues to move his way up through the pack. But right now, it is clear sailing for the 75 of Gavin Rogers as we see some cars contact the wall on the exit of 4. And Danny Cochran, I think that was turn 3, as we bring out the white flag presented to you by Freaky Fast Broadcasting.
That is the white flag. Gavin Rogers, 1 lap to go, leading this field exactly once he wants to see. The cars with the newer tires are trying to do everything they can to get up front. As the 14 spins around, we have 2 more cars into the wall. Looks like it's Earhart and Scioli possibly, or Stitz. Gavin Rogers, though, I don't think he's got a challenger coming out of turn 4. Gavin Rogers with a 3/10, 4/10 lead coming out of turn 4. Rogers back on top with the winner at Auto Club here in season 10. And a huge wreck coming to the finish line.
Wrecking across the line. There's a 75 drifting his appreciation, drifting his celebration through 1 and 2. He is so happy. He has been so frustrated with 2 back-to-back third-place finishes, and here he is. He stands atop the podium victorious after a night of carnage and mayhem. Much unpredictability. Green flag stops, and here he is above it all.
Gavin Rogers has been chasing that win again since he just barely missed it from Season 9's championship race. And here it is, 3 races in, finally back on top, falling just short also last week at Pocono to Drew Jua. But that is Gavin Rogers, your race winner for tonight here at the WSSR Cup Series at Auto Club Speedway. We will be right back with you guys as we get ready to talk to the top 3 drivers for our post-race show. Stick around. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Freaky Fast Podcasting post-race show for the WSSR Cup Series race here at Auto Club. And it was one to watch as Gavin Rogers takes the win. We're going to pull him up into the booth and let's talk to Gavin Rogers. Gavin, congratulations on your first win of the season in race 3 here in Season 10. How did the car feel tonight in the race?
Car felt okay. It was really good at the beginning of the race for sure. Especially by the end of that longish run of the first stage. I felt like I really got control there, but once it got to that, I think it was our longest run at the beginning of that final stage. I kind of lost it, to be honest. I really didn't feel like I was able to do much. A lot of guys were protecting the top, and I was trying to arc my corners. And I think that's what was helping me kind of get to the lead and control it at the end of the run. But I had to kind of tighten up my entry, and it kind of messed up my whole line. So once it got to the end with all those cautions, I just knew I had to get back up to the lead and just try to take control and just project the top like everybody else was pretty much doing. It's the runs are just so strong up there, and if you have to have a really big run to make a move on the bottom. It's really hard. I've seen a few guys that were able to make it work. Vincent is one of them for sure. Unfortunately, he got wrecked out. I feel so bad for him. He's had a horrible start to the season, but I'm sure he'll get back up there and probably get a few wins this season. But no, man, it feels great to finally just get an oval win. To be honest, I know I got one last season in Michigan. I feel like there was a lot more that I should have been able to pull off, but just luck never really kind of went my way. And fortunately tonight, it definitely did, especially with that caution coming out with around like 5 to go. I knew there were some guys on fresh tires, and that caution came out. Got pretty fortunate with that and was able to kind of control the lead for that final restart.
Hey, Gavin, you mentioned a lot of drivers able to maneuver around. It seemed like, yes, the outside line was the way to go for the momentum, but in terms of tire saving, how did it feel for you? Because you mentioned yourself, you kind of fell off, you were trying to figure it out. In tire saving, was it the low or the high line you really wanted to try to manipulate?
I wanted, especially for turns 1 and 2, I feel like was key for me. I wanted to get that entry kind of above that first seam and cut down about halfway through the corner and have a bit of a straighter exit. Um, but I couldn't really do that well. I wasn't. I mean, I guess kind of enter a little bit higher than the first seam. Just got to arc it a little bit more. But with cars on your outside, it's hard to do that. You want to leave them plenty of room because you can't really predict where they're going to run. So I was just trying to run kind of below that line for the most part. But yeah, man, just what a race. I'll be honest. But yeah, the long run for me uh was going to be key. But man, just such a great race.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal race to watch and even a phenomenal race to commentate up here, Gavin. But with this win at Auto Club tonight, that will solidify your position for the lead in points more than likely. How are you feeling for the rest of the season, or what are you looking forward to?
Looking forward to hopefully getting some more wins this season. I feel like the schedule kind of plays in my hands a little bit than previous seasons that I've been in with leagues, and I really feel confident in my ability to really do well. Already starting off way better than I did last season. Got a early win, and I got a few good races coming up here too. The Legacy Atlanta is definitely a questionable one. I know there's a lot of good guys in this league that can really save their tires. I'm not necessarily one of the best tire savers, but I kind of try to keep it up with some of them. Nashville is another good one for me. Red Bull Ring, I'm really excited about. I tend to be more of a road course ringer, so I'm pretty pumped for that one. And yeah, the rest of the schedule looks pretty good. Just looking forward to how it goes.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us up here, Gavin. Look forward to watching to see what you can do the rest of the season and see if you can get some redemption from last season's championship run that you had. So, right now, the floor is yours. Do you have anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to my buddy Jared. He had a quite an up and down race. It seemed like he got his tires at the end of there for that final run, and was able to get back up to the front. I don't know where he finished exactly, but he seemed pretty happy with how it went. Also, shout out to Sundance Pizza and Butt Kicker, all the admins, all my family. Know a few of them were watching tonight. They're pretty happy. Shout out to the broadcast. You guys do such a great job. Kind of a cool moment to have some of my two close buddies broadcasting the race tonight. So this will definitely be one to remember for sure. But yeah, really appreciate everybody who puts this together. Couldn't do it without anybody.
Well, thank you again, Gavin. We look forward to seeing your race in 2 weeks at Atlanta as we have a break for Thanksgiving next week. So, happy Thanksgiving to you and good luck in the next race.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, from Gavin Rogers, we'll be going down to P2. That was Drew Jua doing a phenomenal job. He's doing a reverse basically from last week. Drew, it's Carl and Richard up here in the booth. Congratulations on a second place finish here at Auto Club. How you feeling tonight?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Just it's kind of unfortunate. I had a lot of fun that race. It was all about kind of saving your tires for the for the long run, and I felt like myself and Vincent Sora, we were really good on the long run. It felt like every single time after about 30, 35 laps, we really come to life. And as soon as the guys who pushed off their stuff, started falling back, the yellow would come out. So I wish we had a longer run. I can't really complain though. P2 after first last week, so we're pretty good at these drafting tracks that aren't, super speedways, I guess. But didn't have enough there at the end for Gavin. I felt like I was just too loose with no help behind me. So congrats to him. Tried to get him back at him for wrecking my car after the checker last week, but all in good fun. Good P2, and decided to go to the off week with another top 3 finish.
Yeah, Drew, that was definitely a great second place finish. Now, you started 26th. You definitely had an uphill battle to fight. How was it going through the field, being able to dodge the incidents that did happen, putting yourself into position for that second place finish? Take us through your race.
Yeah, we didn't qualify. Didn't qualify well. I ran the top when it was actually the bottom in 1 and 2. So we ended up on the back foot. So we had to push off our stuff in the first stage to get up there, and we got some stage points, which is something we've struggled compared to last season. I felt like I was really good at getting stage points at the beginning of the season last year, and that's something, like I said, I've struggled with. I think I have like 4 stage points currently, something like that. So got to get better at qualifying, but once I was able to solidify myself up front, it was just about saving our stuff, especially for the long run, like I said. And I have a feeling that if we got that long run after that caution on like 90, I believe, I feel like it would have been a little bit better to save, but we got that yellow and a bunch of people pit, so it's just about holding off old tires there. I mean, new tires there. And like I said, I didn't have any real help behind me. They were kind of battling for third. I didn't have any help to get up to Gavin, and he was just too fast on the short run. And with old and hot tires, it was too difficult to make that gains. But congrats to Gavin. It was a lot of fun racing, and excited for Atlanta in 2 weeks.
Yeah, another race that you two finished back to back to each other. Last week it was you in first and Gavin in second. Do you feel that you two might have, a very good fight or rivalry for the rest of the season between you two?
Yeah, Gavin's, especially last year, he was up front almost every single race. So he's shown himself to be probably the title fight, the title threat. So it's gonna be fun racing him throughout the regular season, and hopefully for the championship later this year. Well, next year, I guess.
Well, Drew, thanks for joining us again. And that was another phenomenal run back from the back of the field through to the front. It was great to watch it last week. It was great to watch it this week. Are there any people you want to shout out for the race today?
Yeah, shout out to you guys in the broadcast booth for all you guys do. Shout out to Lucky Ducks for bringing me on for a second season, and shout out to Meals for Wheels. And looking forward to Atlanta in 2 weeks after Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. We're looking forward to it as well. And we hope you have a great Thanksgiving break. Drew, thank you again, and awesome finish tonight.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
All right, y'all. That was Drew Jewis, finished second place. And now we'll go to third place, Danny Cochran. Phenomenal run for Danny tonight. Is he able to get up and get second place? Danny, it's Richard and Carl in the booth. How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm thrilled to finally have a good run. This is, I think this is literally the first time I've had like a top 3 run in WSSR since they went back to the next gens, man. I've had such a tough time figuring these cars out, so to be able to run well enough to get interviewed again, I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, Danny, that's awesome to hear, and you earned it. You started 20th, you were as low as 38th, and you finished this race in third position, man. You had an up and down race, and it seems like half the 3-wide battles you were a part of, either inside, outside, middle. How was it with all that intensity, all the racing, all the close racing you were having? How was it being able to earn your way up to this third place position?
Yeah, we got the full Auto Club experience, no doubt about it. We started out 20th. I honestly figured that's about where I was going to run all race, because just the bigger tracks aren't typically my strong suit. But unfortunately, got caught speeding on pit road at the stage, went and started shotgun on the field, and just kind of worked my way back up to the front. The cautions helped out some, but yeah, I mean, obviously some of the faster guys had some problems, like Zach and Vincent. I hate it for them, but I was kind of able to take advantage of that and put myself in a better spot because of it. So, all in all, I'm really happy with how things panned out. Just being able to get back up to the front and run where I feel like I've been capable of running. Just hadn't been able to put something like that together until tonight.
Yeah, and Danny, watching you come up through the field tonight, it was definitely a wild one to watch. You were in a lot of the situations that happened, not necessarily involved in it, but around it. I mean, what was your thought going through when a lot of that stuff happened, either next to you or even in front of you?
Oh yeah, there was never a dull moment. One that really sticks out to me from tonight, a couple of them is, I believe the 15, Campbell got in the wall off of 4, and then they kind of went around right in front of me before the stage, and then another one was when Cody Reed got loose off of 2 and hit the wall. And I honestly, props to him for holding it up against it. I thought he was just gonna bounce off of it and kind of come back down the track, and I thought it was gonna be the end of the race for me and the 75 there. But thankfully he did hold it up there, and we were able to sneak past it. So yeah, there was it was a long race, but there was never a dull moment at any part of it.
Well, Danny, it was awesome having you up here in the booth and talking to you. Congratulations on a 3rd place finish. The floor is now yours to shout out anybody you want to shout out to.
Yeah, you guys for broadcasting, of course. The admins for putting this show on. No, it's a little bit tougher for him this week because Steve isn't here doing race control. Shout out Steve also. He does an awesome job. And lastly, Larry Arts Productions for being on the hood and the sides of this 2 car this season. Really love having him on board. If you want to go check out some quality content on YouTube, go give his channel a look. That's Larry Arts Productions. And go check me out on Twitch and YouTube at It's Dan02. So thanks again, guys.
Awesome, Danny. Well, hey, you have a great Thanksgiving break, and we'll see you in Atlanta in 2 weeks.
Awesome. See you guys.
All right, that was Danny Cochran. And tonight we're going to have the showcase driver. We're going to bring Shane Terrian back up into the booth and talk to him tonight. Shane Terrian had a phenomenal end of the race run there with some kind of lucky draws of the caution there. Shane, welcome back up in the booth with me and Carl, man. That was a great timing cautions both times for you, able to get some fresh tires and maintain and even make some passes there at the end. How the rest of your race fell after the last time we talked?
Man, I needed people to stop crashing. I I think I would have got them. I'll take a 4th, but man, they need to stop wrecking. We need to finish these races.
Well, Shane, they may need to stop braking, but it's actually helped you. You're one of 3 drivers, one of 2 drivers, sorry, that seems to have finished in the top 10 every race this season. It's between you and Gavin Rogers. So obviously, being able to come away, use the strategy, come out 4th. We talked to you earlier about how the track was going. After everything started to unfold, after all those wrecks happened, it seemed like you were in the catchbird seat, as it were. So it seemed like those cautions helped you. So I understand you wanted to go green, but at the same time, those cautions helped you. So why did you want those drivers to stop wrecking?
Because I needed a full lap to get the car going. So when we came down to green white checker, I was like, I'm not gonna get Gavin unless something happens. So if we were green for those, I think what four laps we had at one point, I think I would have at least got close or gotten to him. I don't know. It's I needed it. I was just going as hard as I could without wrecking the dang thing. So yeah, I think I would have gotten him if we just stayed green for the couple more laps.
Yeah, on that last caution where everyone decided to pit, you were the leading car to lead basically the entire field down pit road to get new tires. Top 9 stayed out. Were you a little worried about being the first driver to lead everybody down pit road?
Oh yeah. No, I didn't think that many people were going to pit, and I was very happy that they did. So I guess my thought process was, well, we're running a lot harder these last 20 laps. I think if I take tires, I can roll the bottom. Everyone's drifting high, and it worked out for the most part. It did exactly what I thought it would do.
Well, Shane, it did work out. You had a phenomenal run there at the end of the race. Finished 4th. I know you wanted to try and challenge for that win, but 4th still very, very strong finish. Thank you for joining us up here. Just floor is yours now to thank anybody you'd like to thank.
I'm gonna thank my backmarker racing guys. First season with them. Of course, the WSSR guys for having me. My painter who makes my car. You guys for broadcasting, and just basically everyone I raced against. It was fun, clean, hard racing. I had a fun time.
Awesome, Shane. Well, hey, you have a great Thanksgiving break, and we'll see you 2 weeks as we return to Atlanta for the Legacy layout.
Thank you guys.
All right, guys, that is the interview drivers for the evening as we take a look at the race results for tonight's race here at Auto Club. It was a wild one for sure, but we got through it 120 laps. Gavin Rogers, your winner for tonight's race, followed by Drew Jua finishing second as they reverse their finishing orders from last week. Danny Cochran with Nightmare Fuel having a really strong run for himself, finishing third. Shane Terrian managing to scrounge out a fourth place finish with some of those cautions and an early pit stop for him, but still ran strong, got up there in fourth. Chris Stitz up there making a name in fifth. John Forbes Jr. there in sixth. Nick Crawford finishing seventh. Samuel S. Garcia, eighth. Douglas Newbigging, ninth place, and Zachary Hall rounding out your top 10.
Well, and it's crazy that you have Levi Cox finishing 11th. We haven't talked about him. Chad Wilkes, our pole sitters, finishing 12th, so he definitely struggled on a long run. Christopher Wade at one point had a meatball, and there he is, finishing 13th, so that's good on him. Ben Hole, Ollie Fonseca, Jared Hughes, Christopher Norris in 17th, Jarrett Talmadge, Brian Noel, and Ken Campbell rounding out the top 20.
Yeah, some fantastic racing and unfortunate races also for some of our top drivers as well. You know, Ryan Kelly back there in 25th. And you also had, you know, again, like we mentioned many times before, Vincent Sora, another heartbreak of a finish for himself. Just getting involved in another accident. That's 3 races in a row for our driver that is definitely a contender for the championship. So hopefully to see him rebound come Atlanta. Going to have a nice break for all these drivers next week for Thanksgiving. And yeah, we'll look forward to seeing him back on track as we head to Atlanta. But next week's schedule, the only race that will be on broadcast with Freaky Fast will be the ISRC Truck Series on Monday, as all other leagues are either finished or will be taking a break for Thanksgiving, spending time with their families and enjoying some nice enjoyment food on Thursday. So again, no races next week except for Monday with the ISRC Truck Series. So tune in Monday night and check them out. Carl, some final thoughts for the race tonight. It was fantastic racing by these guys like they do week in and week out. I really don't know if I would have changed anything about this race. It had everything, just like was said from Drew. It was like the full Auto Club experience. 3 and 4 wide. We had passes constantly and a decent amount of accidents that were just nothing egregious, just kind of hard racing.
You hit it on the head there, Richard. We had a little bit of everything. We even had green flag stops. We had a caution-filled section. We had the stage. We had 4 wide passing. We had some single spins, some multi-car wrecks. We had the full ticket, and it was definitely worth the price of admission. And I am so honored, so happy you guys invited me up here to help you guys out. And it was just the perfect try to come do it at. It definitely helped me satisfy the itch of the broadcasting bug again. So again, much appreciation to yourself, Richard, to you, Robert, and again, Sam. I can never ever replace you. I can only help substitute and help you get back on the horse here in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, I agree, Sam. Yeah, we hope to see you back up here in the booth with us. You know, it's definitely different here in a race with Freaky Fast without Sam up in the booth, but you know, hopefully we did him justice and hope he recovers fast. But thank you again to everyone that tuned in tonight and watched and chatted throughout the entire race. And if you liked what you watched tonight, hit a like on that button and drop a subscribe to find out whenever we go live with all the races. Keep track of all the schedules of all the races that you want to watch and tune in every Monday and Wednesday to watch the racing here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. I, Richard Wolsifer, and Carl both like to thank every single one of you for watching, and Robert Moyer Jr. from behind the scenes taking care of the camera work and all the graphics, and everyone else from Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you for watching. WSSR will be back in 2 weeks at Atlanta 08, the Legacy track. But if you want to watch some racing action before then, we'll see you Monday night for more playoff truck action at Sonoma for our next Freaky Fast Broadcasting.